Greetings, Flesh Wound Horror freaks, and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror Late Night Live. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good evening.
And Mike Kruger.
Welcome to prime time, bitch.
So we're fresh out of Winnie the Pooh. Kruger had a great
Blood and honey.
That'll tell a great pre-movie experience that he'll tell you about in a minute. But before we do that, just a couple quick shout outs. Anybody in the chat that's staying up with us tonight? I guess really I shouldn't say it's late because we got a lot of UK people where it's probably.
I'm glad, Dan, you're finally acknowledging just because it's late for you doesn't mean it's late for everyone. Because it's only like 10 o'clock here. It's like
this is true. This is true.
We'd barely be leaving the house to go out at this time. Come on.
Late for me, but as we'll find out, some people don't factor in Arizona time. So we'll get to that story. But before we do, just a quick shout out to friend of the show, Lauren Dixon. Just got the hardcover edition of his book, Divide by Zero in. If you are unaware of it, if you like cult stories, cosmic horror, there's a lot going on in this book, and it's a fantastic read. So you can get it anywhere now where fine books are sold. One other quick plug from a legend in horror who has a hardcover edition of his 90s classic out right now, Fear from Ronald Kelly. If you like coming of age horror stories, this is an amazing book, and Ron was kind enough to even sign this for me, and you can get these signed on the Big Cartel store. There you go. Even does an illustration. I mean, how cool is that? So yeah, this is out right now. You may have missed it in the 90s. I want to say 94, 96, maybe somewhere around that range. Great book, both great books. Check them out. So a little bit of reading for you guys. But yes, shout out to Ben in the chat. Shout out to Magic Hands. What's up? I'm Magic Hands. It's not Flesh Wound After Dark. With your name, that might be what you're expecting, but I guess it is Flesh Wound After Dark because Kruger's got a rant. So before we actually review the movie,
before we get to that though,
yes, later tonight we are previewing XPW Pleasures of the Flesh. So for you wrestling fans, stay tuned after all the horror stuff because we are going to be talking some wrestling.
And that's still not enough.
And
sponsoring XPW this Saturday.
Oh, okay. Wasn't sure if we were supposed to say that yet. Flesh Wound Features sponsoring XPW Pleasures of the Flesh.
Come by the booth.
Come by the Flesh Wound booth.
I'm going to have free shit, but I'm going to make you answer an XPW related question. And you know what? If you want to answer a Flesh Wound related question, that's fine too. But yes. I'll give you guys that choice.
And I will, at some point later in the night, I will have to run and grab it because I forgot. But we're going to give away a couple digital codes tonight, as I was teasing for you guys. So stay tuned for that. We'll give one away earlier than one towards the end.
We got to do one earlier, one during XPW. There we go.
There you go.
All
right. Yes, 3 movies, 2 codes, but 3 movies. So Stay tuned for that. So did I plug everything? We're fully plugged.
I think so.
Sweet.
We're all filled up.
All right. Yeah. Stop by that booth.
Dan feels full now.
There we go. All right. Kruger. So you were on the way to Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, and you had an experience.
Well, I wasn't on the way. When I got there, I was the first person in the theater, so I was like, all right, I'll maybe it'll just be me and a couple people. For whatever fucking reason, 2 groups sat like to my left and to my right and just sandwiched my ass in the middle. And it was to the point where like there was other seats open, towards the end of the row, and they didn't fucking move. And I thought about getting up and moving, but for whatever reason, I was kind of stoned, so I didn't really want to get up and move. But then, my start time was 7:15. 7:15 goes on, and no trailers, no nothing, just fucking black screen. So, the crowd starts coming in. We're waiting and waiting, waiting. And it's like 7:40 and nothing has happened. And we're like, what the fuck hell is going on? And then I was messaging Todd, and Todd was like, maybe they didn't like factor in Arizona time. I don't know what the fuck is going on. So then Todd told me that there was a timer that he had on his screen. So eventually the fucking timer came on, and all of us just like basically screamed at the projectionist and was like, yo, you could fucking fast forward. Our movie was supposed to start like a half hour ago. So then he starts playing trailers. And while he's doing this, he's also cock teasing us and turning the fucking lights on and off like the movie's about to start like 6 different times. And then he's playing the same 4 fucking trailers. And 2 of the trailers are these like horrible MMA fucking romance comedies
starring Dylan Sprouse. Kruger, you're not going to go see that?
Dude, I like by the second rotation, I was like, if I fucking have to watch this trailer one more time, I may unalive myself in front of all these fucking people. And
there you go, Kruger. Ben said, dude, those fucking psychos that openly choose to sit next to a stranger need to be put in the mental ward.
Well, not even just that, dude. I'm a big motherfucker. So like I have to with people sitting next to me, I already like, I'm kind of doing this because my shoulders are so fucking wide. But to have 2 fucking groups of people, I was like this the whole time I was watching the movie. It was fucking miserable. But eventually the movie got started, and I'll refrain from my thoughts until Dan goes in the description. But horrible fucking movie experience, and it probably didn't get started till about 8:15, so an hour after the start time, which was pretty miserable.
I've told you before, when that happens, you just look them like right in the eyes and just go, "What's your favorite episode of Pooh Bear?" And then just tweak your nipples.
I'm just gonna say
what Dad did. Apparently,
I'm just gonna say that probably wouldn't have made a good impression on the people that were next to me that I did not want. So I'm good on that.
I mean, they might start doing it back, and that's the only
and that's gonna make it fucking worse. Like, dude, I'm already fucking crammed enough trying not like. And you know what also pissed me off? I didn't mention this. These motherfuckers both used the cup holders that were like on my side. So I'm holding my fucking Coke the whole fucking time throughout the whole movie too. I like usually I would probably,
motherfucker.
Dude, usually I would probably say something, but I was so stoned and just like, I just want this shit to fucking be over.
I'll be honest, I'm surprised you went. You'll probably skip this one.
I was too. But I saw that because the first showing of the movie was at 7 and it was completely sold out. Like I couldn't get a fucking ticket.
Mine was a near sellout.
But then they added a 7:15, and I was the first person to buy the ticket for the 7:15. So I was thinking I was gonna come home scot-free, and fucking hell no, I wasn't. So anyways, that was my lovely fucking theater experience for this movie.
And maybe it was the best movie you ever saw. So let's jump right into it. So Winnie the Pooh.
Can't say that. He hasn't saw one of those MMA movies yet.
Oh, that's true. You haven't.
I'd rather have my dick dragged through fucking broken glass, and
I'm just saying patrons can request it. So if you want to see the new Dylan Sprouse MMA romantic comedy, Kruger might have to watch that. Patreon.com.
Fleshwood Fights coming soon just for you, Kruger.
Motherfucker, that's like a $15 tier. You paid me $15, maybe I'll fucking do it. But Dan, you better shut the fuck up. There's no censorship on that motherfucker.
Dylan Sprouse. I mean, what a badass. Dylan Sprouse. I mean, come on. All right, so Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, not starring Dylan Sprouse, from director Rhys Frake Waterfield. And this one, the days of adventures and merriment have come to an end as Christopher Robin, now a young man, has left Winnie the Pooh and Piglet to fend for themselves. As time passes, feeling angry and abandoned, the two become feral. After getting a taste for blood, Winnie the Pooh and Piglet set off to find a new source of food. It's not long before their bloody rampage begins. All right, so just a little bit of backstory on this. I did some looking into it. The director does claim these are not men in masks. So to get that out of the way. Now, they are obviously masks, and they are men's bodies, but I guess mutants is essentially what they are.
Oh yeah, they're like a cross. They're like a crossbreed between animal and human.
Yeah.
Even though I'm going to say this just straight off the bat. I think the Winnie the Pooh mask is cool.
But, oh no, for sure. Piglet, maybe not so much. But
they were too similar for me, actually.
Yeah, the Piglet one, I don't know what it was about the way like it looked with what he was wearing, but it almost looked, and it wasn't, it was the full mask, but the way the lighting was, it almost looked like you had like the actual person's flesh underneath it with just the way it was lit in certain scenes, which was kind of jarring. But then later on in the movie, you see it's a whole prosthetic. Like I'm assuming the mask is like from the shoulder and like upper chest down.
Yeah. Yeah, I did think that was cool. Other than that, now just a little bit of backstory on this, because it's produced by Scott Jeffrey, who I've talked about on this show before. We reviewed some of his movies. Scott Jeffrey's produced like over 200 movies just in the last like 6 years. It's insane. He's directed as well. So this movie kind of came around. It wrapped filming in May of 2022 in just 10 days that this was shot. That's kind of around the time where some of the hype kicked off. I think some photos and just the general concept. I haven't confirmed this exactly, but there have been a few people who have said that there were reshoots, because obviously, definitely, and we'll get into that a little bit, but you can kind of tell that this is not your typical ITN film, like that they just tried to shove out there. The production values are higher than what you would.
But I also think it is a typical though. Like it's all their hallmarks.
Not quite, because a lot of theirs are not that gory, which this is a gory film.
Yeah,
and it doesn't have nudity.
I meant structure-wise. We started with a little animated opening. We kind of go into
the backstory,
and they pretty much have a template. But yeah, I do. There are extra things, but they hit their template normal. And so I was a little worried at the beginning.
Well, my feeling is, because we have the Christopher Robin story, which it opens with, and I believe that was added later. I think this was a much more simple story where Pooh and Piglet are just killing these random women in a cabin. I think a lot of the other stuff was added on later. I'd be very curious to know exactly where it came in. But just to let
Christopher Robin's always mentioned from day one of the description, but the way it's worded, you can't tell if that meant he was in it or they were just giving you backstory.
Well, when you see the animated thing, it seems like they could have easily tagged that on at the beginning of the movie and then fucking didn't, even introduce him into the story at all.
I think the animated might have been all there was at one point. I could be wrong. That's just my theory.
Well, no, I was just.
I could see why you're saying that though.
And then the wording and the original description could go either way. So yeah you're probably right.
There's a few points where you could easily just add this in and it wouldn't affect anything, because as far as character development goes, we really don't get to know a whole lot about these ladies. There's the one girl who has a previous trauma with the stalker. There's a lesbian couple that's in it that kind of hinting that they're having some problems.
Yeah.
And it's literally, it's like one scene. It's like, oh, thank you for trying, sort of deal.
Yeah, they never expanded upon what the hell is going on.
I wonder if there was more that they're like, well, these bitches are talking too much. We don't want to get Dan upset. Cut it.
Which we've talked about. A lot of the Scott Jeffries movies play it very straight. I think like they chopped out a lot of dialogue is what I'm guessing, added in, because believe it or not, I didn't dislike this movie. I'll elaborate more, but
82 minutes.
Yeah.
8 times.
So I'll let Kruger go since he suffered so much. We'll talk about it. But I did like it, surprisingly.
Well, let's see if it was worth it for Kruger.
Well, I'll say going in after watching The Killing Tree, I was
Poor Killing Tree. Dude,
I don't give a fuck. That movie is fucking. It's got 30 minutes of okay shit, and then the rest of these bitches talking the whole fucking time. It's horrible.
Well, there's two of them talking in this one. You don't even know who they are.
Anyways,
hold on, you got to block someone.
Oh, whoops. Going in, I was definitely like, I thought it was going to be a fucking shit fest. But first thing I will say, I want to compliment the set designs of the movie, because I'll tell you, Pooh and Piglet's little lair, it was like a Texas Chainsaw-esque feel to it, and I really thought it made for some cool shots in the movie. There's a couple of shots where it's just like Pooh looking menacing with, you know, the brownish lighting in the back. It's just they used the Texas Chainsaw-esque feel very well in there. I already said I wasn't crazy about Piglet. I thought his costume didn't look the greatest, and honestly, the performer, I mean, he was all right, but didn't really have anything to write home about. But Pooh, that motherfucker is a highlight of the movie for me. You know, he's kind of like 1 part Leatherface, 2 parts Michael Myers, and 1 part Candyman, which is fucking hilarious, by the way. He definitely fucked up a lot of people in this movie brutally, and I was surprised how much I was just enjoying all the scenes with this character. And on the subject of kills, I was pleasant
too. That was cool.
Yeah, the little facial expressions, like they didn't go overboard with it, but then like you would see him smile or see him frown, and it looked really, really cool.
I was trying to figure out, was that CGI tweaking?
No, that's the mask.
Okay,
the mask is from Immortal Masks, which also they've had their mask in other low budget British horror films. But yeah, it looked really, really cool. And on the subject of kills, I got to tell you, I was pleasantly surprised with how violent and gory they were. There was a nice bit of practical effects. Granted, not the most amazing practical effects I've ever seen in my life, but there was a strong effort there, especially with some of the face smashing scenes and stuff. Yeah, I mean, I was just happy that they went that route. Now, there is some CGI in there too, but to be honest with you, nothing that obnoxious. I didn't think it was that obnoxious.
Okay.
No.
I thought it was going to drive you insane watching it.
No, to be honest with you, I thought the way, maybe it was the lighting or the way they did it, but like there, you know, you could tell when it was happening, but it didn't bother me as much as it usually would. And I think a big part of that was because it was mixed in with practical effects.
But it's funny, this is weird for me, because it was like they were giving us both at the same time, but they were both like shitty. So we had shitty CG and then like shitty watered down blood spray on Pooh's face. So I'm just like, well, now you're showing me both of them can look shitty. So it kind of works.
But some of the I think some of the practical effects were decent. Like granted, there's a severed head in there that looks like absolute dog shit. And it's one of the ones that was shown in the promo picture. But then there was like a scene afterwards where it's being swiped on a car fucking thing that just kind of made up for it. They really like
kill I thought was cool.
I thought they were gonna fucking shit the bed when it came to the kills in this movie. And at first, like the first kill in the movie, I was like, yo, this is gonna suck ass. But they surprised me. And as far as the story, I fucking really, really liked that animated opening. You know, it was a little shitty, but a little creepy too. And I like the whole story on why Pooh and his woodland friends are now ravenous slasher villains.
If my memory serves, didn't you really like the Killing Tree opening too?
Was that
you might be thinking of Jack Frost? Jack Frost.
That's the one I'm thinking of. Yes.
Yeah.
Scott Jeffries' Jack Frost has now that movie's not great, but it has that same like cool opening.
I didn't watch that actually. No.
Okay.
There's is it the Texas Chainsaw Massacre ripoff he did? Or is that not the same guy? It's another one of those low budget British ones, but it was like the man with the melted face or some bullshit like that.
No, I don't think so.
Anyways, regardless, the animated thing I thought was really cool. Quickly, the movie does turn into your, you know, dumb slasher movie with college kids in the middle of the woods, but I don't know. It kind of worked for me. You know, not to say that there's nothing you can't pick at. You know, I wasn't crazy about the characters, but I'll say I enjoyed watching them being disposed of by Pooh and Piglet. And, you know, editing standpoint, there are plenty of scenes that drag out way too fucking long. And other stuff that could have been better, but I think as a whole, my expectations were so low going into this thing. I can't say it didn't surprise me in a few different ways. Is it a classic? No. Is it a fantastic slasher? Absolutely not. But there's definitely fun to be had with this one. And I would watch it again. I kind of want to pick up the Umbrella Blu-ray for it just so I have it in my collection, even though I'm not going to rewatch it all the fucking time. I just, you know, this is a movie that I would love to, you know, a party's going on and there's a TV there and I just pop it in, see what the fuck people are saying, like when they're watching it. And I'm kind of happy that it's getting a sequel because as long as it's on par with this, give me another couple of them. Bring in some of the other characters that you were talking about in the beginning of the movie that we didn't get to see. That's what I think they need to do for the sequel.
I was kind of bummed we lost one of them out the gate. But I also was, well, I was going to say which one, but
well, I
was going to not well. I know I'm trying not to say anything.
No, the storyline, I mean, it's out there in the synopsis that, yeah, they cannibalize one of their own. I won't give it away.
Well, yeah, but okay. Well, it doesn't matter.
It's out there.
I know, but I think we're crossing what we're saying.
So, yeah, I was surprised. I mean, look, there's a lot that you can pick at. I do think, you know, they went back for some reshoots. Some stuff went out. A lot went in. That's fine. It worked. I was entertained. Ben mentions the car-related kill in the which is probably the goriest one. It's a nasty movie. Like Pooh and Piglet. I mean, the only bit of comedy that I really got out of this is when Pooh exposes a girl's titties, and I think it was like so unnecessary, but I loved it.
And this is my beef. You gave me a beef now, right? I had a beef with that.
Well, you have a beef with titties, Ty.
They introduced this to me, and then we have the busty, trashy, tattooed chick in the hot tub who didn't rip her top off. So by him, yeah, I'm just saying, you give me one, you set the precedent, so I'm expecting another one.
I always respect, especially a modern slasher. All this stuff on Twitter is like, we don't need sex in horror movies. Fuck you. Yes, we do. In a slasher movie like this, give us some boobs. And it's one scene, but, you know, hey, I appreciate it. We got some boobs.
But I was fully expecting to get more after that. I was like, all right, here we go.
But you get a horrifically gory kill in place of it. So that's okay. I was, you know, look, I sat down and I was like, man, is this going to literally just be something that I would have bought for no real reason, no good reason in Walmart for $9.99, and they're just trying to shove this in theaters? No, I actually think it's very low budget, but it's well made and it's entertaining. The Christopher Robin stuff I thought was really fun, interesting. I kind of a lot of times wanted to kind of go back to his story because, again, these girls are just not bad actresses. You'll recognize them from a bunch of other Scott Jeffries and Jagged Edge Productions films. Just we don't get to know them that well. But, you know, you get some decent kills. You get what I think is a really good killer. The Winnie the Pooh has personality. It's a cool mask. I mean, again, it's like a dude in a mask, and apparently, no, it's a mutant. So I'm like, wait a minute. So is he wearing a mask to hide what's underneath? Is that supposed to be his real face?
No, that's supposed to be his real face.
And that's the problem because it's like it's a cool mask, but it looks like a dude in a mask.
Well, let me tell you like this. 1980, this would have been fine. No one would have bitched about like the mask.
I was about to get there, yeah.
And even the slasher and the setup, this would have like done super well. It definitely feels like a good, low budget Canadian, we're throwing American theater slasher, enjoy. And that's kind of what this is.
And I think a lot of people want that to come back, because look at what Terrifier 2 did. And I'm not saying this is Terrifier 2, but
no, absolutely
these smaller indies that are actually making a little bit of noise. Like
this thing already made $1 million fucking dollars, dude. Like I saw the box office today of what it was doing before like it got the US release, and yeah, I mean it's pretty impressive. And you know, as long as you do it, like I was talking to somebody about this the other night, and I was just like, you know, I'm gonna be really, really fucking disappointed if they just boxed up one of these shit UK low budget movies and fucking threw it in the theater and was just like going for a money grab. But the fact that there was
sorry.
yeah, I still have yet to see it, but
I shit on it. It's not as bad as their normal stuff, but it's not this.
Yeah, but you know, there's an effort made here that made me gain some respect for them doing what they did. So I'm all for Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey 2. I'm all for this fucking Peter Pan thing that's coming out too, I think by the same people. So yeah.
Yeah, it's supposedly Tinkerbell's the killer. And I don't I haven't confirmed this, but apparently Tinkerbell's like a morbidly obese, like white trash sort of killer. That's
I'm in for that.
I guess somebody said that. I haven't confirmed it, but yeah.
Todd, what about you?
Well, I mean, you kind of got it here and there, but yeah, I did enjoy this. I kind of was like going in with lower expectations because I've brought up the mean ones already, and I've brought it up a few times. While I didn't hate that one, it is a bad movie. This one, I had a lot of fun with.
It's like, still a bad movie for
it
sure,
is, but it's like it's not a bad movie. Like, see, I like Killing Tree, which you do not. Yeah, which I know is a bad movie, and I know it's about a half hour worth of movie and an hour worth of bullshit.
But this isn't Killing Tree.
No,
and I don't think I'm dismissing it as a bad movie though. The killer's been more interesting than a lot of A-level like slashers.
Well, that is
it's not bad.
I mean, yeah, but it's nothing like, you know, you got.
No, Dan. You can see it's a cheaply made movie sitting on that giant. That's what I mean. Yeah.
But like most of the slashers that you just said that we watched in the golden era, they were cheap. A lot of
them. You know what? They didn't look cheap because they were shot on film.
True, but yeah.
So they had an advantage. They had a way to hide their budget.
That is true. That is
true. I think they just nailed it kind of with everything. They had some really great creepy scenes with Pooh, with just honey dripping off his face, acting menacing. The aesthetic of where they were shooting it, and you know, the whole like that whole lair scene, like it reminded me of Texas Chainsaw 2 a little bit. You know, when you're just seeing all the bones and skulls around, you know, these fucking torches up on the wall and these tunnels. Like, it was just really, really cool to see that they did so much with, you know, a movie that was made for under $100,000. So,
yeah. And I liked how like sadistic Pooh was.
Yeah, I know. I was kind of expecting a little more restrained. I was very.
Dude, I thought they were about the fucking last house on the left them at one point. And I was like, holy shit.
Was it implied a little, not to give too much away, but was it kind of implied with the one that was chained up? That
it was for me. If it wasn't for you, then we were watching.
I know she uses the term mauled, but I think she meant it a different way.
Yeah, I kind of got that too.
Yeah,
well, you can write out your fan fiction.
Oh yeah, Dan, get on it. All right,
this isn't the only Pooh project. There is a book called The Call of Putulu. So there is
what the fucking hell?
It is. It's out. No, that's out there right now. So yeah, I want more. I want that Mickey Mouse slasher.
Yeah, it's don't hold your breath.
Steamboat Willie. You can do Steamboat Willie at some point. I don't think they can stop it.
The short will be in the public domain, but Mickey Mouse will not be.
No, but you can have Steamboat Willie in a.
You can have Steamboat Willie if Disney owns the likeness rights. I've said it a year ago, and I'm gonna say it again now. Mickey Mouse will not end up in the public domain. Every time Mickey Mouse is about to be in the public domain, what happens? They change the law so Mickey Mouse is not in the fucking public domain. It'll happen again. So sorry, I know I didn't mean to ruin your Disney expanded universe. So you could have Mickey Mouse show up and fight Pooh.
Steamboat Willie, you can have a different looking rat if it doesn't feel.
Well, yeah.
Now I want if this fucking Tinkerbell goddamn movie is good, or Peter Pan, whatever the fuck it is, Tinkerbell and Peter Pan versus Pooh, and some other of his woodland feral creatures he has sitting out in the woods. Let's fucking get it happening. Because if they do that, and as long as the gore and everything is on par with this, I think that would be fucking hilarious and just a good time.
Shit. You know who is public domain?
Who?
I don't even know if I can say his name without Dan freaking out.
Oh, the tiger.
Oh, now you're making it sound way worse. I was just talking about Uncle Remus from Song of the South.
Oh, God. His will blow a fucking vein.
Well, no, because those are like stories. Those are like actual stories.
He's like killing people in the woods.
Okay, okay. You know what? I'm gonna go back and cut this out so we can do it before ITN. Yeah. Pugs, get ready. We got a part for you. Speaking of Pugs, okay. Ugh. I do have his thoughts on Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
Oh, sweet.
All right. What a mix. Flawed and mean as fuck, but I had tons of fun. Seeing Pooh and friends in these scenarios had never crossed my mind. Now I want more. Thankfully, I think I'll get my wish granted. He will.
Yeah.
Generic story, generic kills, but when it revolves around beloved characters made for children, for me, that is the recipe for some comic books splash page imagery brought to life. It gets a big hall pass from me. I enjoyed it way more than I thought I would.
Yeah.
3.5 out of 5.
Wow.
Would recommend it some. Yeah.
Before we rate it, I do want to just say, don't shit on this movie if you haven't seen it yet, because there's a lot of that going on.
Hold on. I'm going to clip this out and play this back to you later, Dan, when you do that to every other fucking movie that comes out.
You may have impressions, but I'm not claiming it sucks if I haven't seen it. I might say
you do that shit all the time, Dan.
I know, Todd. But
motherfucker, every Blumhouse production that has happened in the last 3 years.
Well, you get it up the ass so many times from
Dude, I've gotten it up the ass from these motherfuckers enough. All right, more than Blumhouse. So did they fucking bring me Easter Bunny Massacre for fuck's sake?
No,
I thought they did.
Who was that?
It was some British fucking bullshit company.
It's the other one. There's one of the two. There's like two of them. That's the one who does the doll movies, the Robert the Doll movies. That's the
Andrew Jones. Yeah, that's actually his stuff's a lot. I don't know if it's actually low. Some of his stuff looks cheaper.
I can't tell the difference.
But I will say, look, sometimes you go into something. It's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. Like, if that doesn't appeal to you and you just think it's stupid and you have no interest, okay, I get it. But going into something called Winnie the Pooh, Blood and fucking Honey, I was entertained for 82 minutes. I cannot complain. There's nothing that they did awful. They could have touched up the script a little bit. And again, I suspect that had to do with reshoots because I had no idea who these girls even were for the most part. It's very, some dude peeked in her window and she's traumatized. That's all you get. The other lesbian couples having issues. You get one scene, doesn't it? They could punch that up a little bit. I think hopefully a sequel, they get a little bit more money. I mean, I'm kind of all in on this. It's a cool fucking killer. Pooh is creepy. He's creepy. Yeah. What can I say?
Well, I do need to tell you guys, my showing had a what? No, I thought it was, my show.
Are you talking the Tinkerbell or something? What's
no. Everyone applauded the end of my screen. I was like, "What the hell's happening?"
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were loving it. Like,
did you have any walkouts? Because I had one couple walkout probably within like the first 30 minutes.
What were they expecting?
I told Dan, I might have posted in the group. Not one person left that theater till the end of the credits, and we were probably 2/3 full. I was like, "What the?" But it's people who actually paid their $20 to go see.
Yeah. Can I make a bold prediction? Sure. Not judging a movie, but a bold prediction.
Oh, okay. Bold.
You can go back to this clip and we'll see. But I'm going to predict Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey is better than Scream 6. We will see. And I think you're going to agree, Todd. I don't know.
You know what? You know how you already know you're wrong? What is this movie doing the first time in the franchise?
Going to Manhattan?
Besides that, what am I a super mark
I don't
for?
keep up on Scream 6.
It's coming out in 3D, you fucking almost said it.
Oh, 3D? Well, maybe we'll get Pooh in 3D. God damn it.
I'd
Hostile
fucking be
bastard.
all into
If
that.
this was in 3D, it would have been kind of badass. You see fucking Piglet hitting somebody with a sledgehammer and their fucking scalp goes flying at you. That would have been amazing.
This is the type of stuff I'd like to see.
Ben Grimm says Pooh is passing out bloody pimp slaps all night. Pooh keeps his pimp hand strong. We found that out in this movie.
Is it wrong? I was like about halfway through this movie. I'm like, I kind of want to be Pooh for Halloween.
I want the mask. Kruger, how much would the mask run me?
I could tell you. Just give me a second. Fucking, why we're doing that? Why don't we?
Let's rate it. I mean, it's not an elite level slasher or anything, but I had a blast. I'm 3.5. It's Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey. I dug it.
Yeah, Pug's also 3.5.
Yeah, go ahead, Todd.
I think I'm at 3.5 too. I was going back and forth because I did have a lot of fun. Could go up on rewatches. The thing that held me back was too many times I cringed at the CGI gore. So go figure.
There's a lot of little things to pick at, but they don't affect my enjoyment of it in this case. Yeah.
For me personally, and it probably sounds like I liked it a lot more, but I think I need to watch it again to be sure. I was tossed up between a 2.5 and a 3. I can't give it the 3 right now, but I'm not going to say that's not going to change over time. I do want to watch it again eventually, probably around the time the sequel is going to come out in a couple of years. But I will say, if you're a slasher fan, you like gore, you like good kills, and this concept seems interesting to you, go check it out. I don't think you'll be disappointed. I'm a slasher fucking diehard fan and a gore hound, and it left me kind of shocked at times that it did what it did with the quality. So 2.5 out of 5 for now, but there's some room to grow there, I think.
Okay. Yeah. So who would have thought? Winnie the Pooh. It delivered.
Well, we know Kruger did. He would say the last 2 days I'm gonna fuck it.
Yeah, I was literally shit talking this movie I mean, not even the last few days, probably the last couple of weeks. Like, I was talking to one of my friends, and I was just like, this is gonna be a fucking absolute shit fest. I don't know why the fuck I'm paying money to go see this when it's gonna be up on fucking Tubi in a couple of months. But
it's funny, Dan's like, fuck, he's gonna hate this movie after all that bullshit.
The sequel will probably be out this year. They're gonna shit that out so fast.
And they already got our money, so they're probably gonna be like, just give them the normal shit.
Yeah, but you know what? For what this was, it definitely exceeded my expectations. So go see it if you get the chance. But if not, I believe I read it's going to be on Screenbox sometime in May.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So moving on to our next film, also a slasher, a bit of a slasher theme tonight. She Came from the Woods, from director Eric Blomquist. And in this film, in 1987, a group of camp counselors accidentally unleash a decades-old evil on the last night of a children's summer camp. All right. So this one's not really getting a whole lot of coverage. There's a lot of limited release horror movies out right now, and we were fortunate enough to well, not all of us, but we were fortunate enough to see them all so we could cover them. This one seems to be the hardest to see overall.
Depends where you're at, Dan.
Depends where you're at, but
not a single showing that I could find at an AMC of the other one in California.
Yeah, I wish I could have saw this because I watched the trailer and I was like, oh, fuck, this is right up my alley. But the closest showing was like fucking 45, 50 minutes away. And it was also like a theater I never go to. So I was like, I just couldn't couldn't bring myself to go do that. Because I had
two people sitting right next to
me. Fuck, dude. That would have been the worst. Like, it's not even like they were bad, but it's just like, dude, when you're a big motherfucker and you're squished in between, two groups of people, that ain't a good fucking time.
All right, so sorry, I'm going to Knock at the Cabin.
Yeah, we got a lot of cabins, we got a lot of slashers.
If woods. I said she came from the woods. So 80s nostalgia slasher. I kind of had the impression that this was more of a comedy, and it is kind of listed as horror comedy, but less comedy than I was expecting. It kind of plays it straight after a while for the most part. I really was expecting something along the lines of like a Final Girls type feel to it, where it's a little bit more comedic, but this one a little more straight than I expected. Speaking of 80s nostalgia, Cara Bueno, who is one of the moms on Stranger Things. She plays like the daughter of William Sadler, and she essentially is running the camp at this point. Speaking of, yes, William Sadler, who has a history with this character, Nurse Agatha, who is something of an urban legend, and there's a history there that slowly unravels throughout the film. I expected more of a parody. It plays it more serious, and surprisingly, again, I think it does a pretty good job getting the nostalgia right. It doesn't go way over the top with the 80s aesthetic that a lot do, and it's like, I don't know that the 80s really look like that. I was born in the 80s.
They did not.
More of a 90s kid. I think this was like just right. Like they didn't go too crazy with the fashion.
There's real 80s, and then there's like television 80s. Yeah,
like, I think they did a good job. You're the old fuck. You remember the 80s. Better.
There was a lot more brown than most in the 80s. But yeah, this one did. It actually was a point, like I was kind of questioning what time period we were. I wasn't sure at first. Mm-hmm. So we were like the first 5 minutes, I was like if they would have pulled out a cell phone, I would not have blinked an eye.
And yeah, and I mean that in a good way too, because there's some where, like you said, they just go really wild with
and they didn't make a deal out of it. It just kind of was. That's where we were set. That's just kind of how it was, and we just kind of went with it. It gave it a more of a timeless feel, so it didn't matter where it was set. It would have worked.
Yeah. So one thing, this has a very good script. Obviously, being a slasher, people get bumped off. It doesn't necessarily go in the order that you would expect, which is always nice. This one's a little more unpredictable. I think the music they got right, once again, without going too over the top. It's more authentic than most 80s throwback films. On the negative side, sort of the big bad villain, a little bit on the generic side, once it's fully revealed, but no real complaints on that front. Just it's a little more, it's not too over the top. It's a basic makeup job. It works. Once again, I kind of felt like this would be a random movie that I might have just watched back in the theater in 1987 and would have enjoyed it. There are some good kills. This one's not like a massive bloodbath, but I enjoyed it. And one thing that this does exceptionally well, there are several really interesting, well-developed characters in this. One thing that Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey didn't really have. We have, some of the typical tropes, but everybody was really interesting in this. I cared about the characters. This was a pleasant surprise. Out of everything we saw, this one I was kind of like, I don't know. I've seen a lot of. I feel like I've watched this nostalgia slasher a million times the last few years. I dug it, and the comedy that is there made me laugh. It's not like Hatchet level kills, but they still do a good job. There's one simple one just involving a rock that I thought was kind of cool, kind of savage. What did you think, Todd? Because I actually had a great time at the theater with this.
I did not think you were going to like this. I don't think Kruger will like it, but so far Dan has surprised me. Yeah, I thought it was a fun little slasher. It wasn't like spectacular, but it was entertaining, and for a modern one, yeah, it needed some boobs, but I think Ben already said that. Yeah, it needed boobs.
Yeah, but good enough that I'm not bitching about it too much. So there's that.
Yeah. You said, like, you kind of said it was kind of like by the numbers, but
the script was really good though.
It was. Yeah, I did. I like this one.
So why do you think I won't like it?
It's not the goriest slasher.
Yeah.
I think that's more or less
but if you give me one or two decent kills.
It's got a few decent kills. It's a little
I think some of the
lighter.
characters are going to annoy you, though. That's my thing. I'm surprised the characters didn't annoy Dan. So, I don't know. Maybe you're a little more tolerant. You are. So, I'm in the middle now on you, Kruger. I've gone from no way to, because Dan didn't shit on it. So now I'm like, maybe
Let's be fair. If this was like 2020 Kruger, I probably would have hated it. But I think like the more time I spend with you fucks watching all these movies, I become more forgiving.
Ben put it kind of good one and done.
Okay. I might actually watch it again.
See, I'm with you on that, Dan, but for Kruger, I think that's where he'd be at a one and done.
It's one that's not, I mean, there is gore. It's an R-rated movie. I don't want to make it, but you could maybe take your, teenage kid to this and you wouldn't have anything that would feel too like out there.
Dan, you got to stop trying to tell people where to take their kids.
In my opinion.
But you're not a parent, so stop.
If you trust, I would take my knee.
No one trusts you, Dad, with that.
I take
Move
that.
along.
But yes, it's what really surprised me was the characters, because there's a lot of characters in this, and they establish their backstories. I know who they are. I like these characters. How often can you say that, even in an 80s slasher? Now, I side story, because this is really fucking stupid, and it shoots the movie in the foot. There was a big horror site, I won't say who, but a big one of the big three, that had a review saying it is better than Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I did see that.
Why did you just out him? I want to know who it is.
Oh, Dread Central. I don't care. I just thought you don't like starting conflict. But yeah, I saw that and I was like, even if that were true, well, yeah, fuck Dread Central. We're
let's not go that fucking far. But
they're not Horror Society, Dan. Don't go that crazy.
No, yeah, definitely fuck Horror Society.
Thank you.
But when you do that, you say it's like all of these things, like it's the next Evil Dead. Don't do that. Like, this is a good movie, but
comparing it to fucking stop comparing it to classics that we all grew up on loving, and it's some of our favorite horror movies of all time. Like, there's no reason to fucking do that. I mean, to be honest, like, nobody even did that with Terrifier. And let's be honest, like, if you want to, you could straight up call Terrifier gorier than any of the fucking big four slashers out there. But nobody's going to go out there and disrespect the legacy that, these movies built off of back in the day. So,
yeah. And some of the big sites, there's sometimes reasons for the reviews.
Which is funny, because I saw the Horror Society like shitting on an indie film, so then I was like,
that must be a fucking piece of shit.
No, they didn't suck them off. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, okay, they didn't get
I'm anxiously awaiting this movie to get here, so now I'm waiting for it even more.
Yeah. No, I surprisingly had a good time. I mean, if you don't like slashers, maybe there won't be as much for you, but I really did. And William Sadler, man, like, and he also produces this, by the way. Yeah. He always elevates a movie. He's one of those guys. Even if it's a weaker movie, it's like he's a standout and can kind of make it worth watching.
It was funny. What movies did I see that day? Because I literally saw Williams. Oh, yes. I saw a movie with Bill Paxton, William Sadler. On my way home, I heard a song from Ice Cube. Mm-hmm. And I was like, I think if I hear a song from Ice-T, I have to watch Trespass when I get home, right?
Trespass and Judgment Night. Those two.
Well, no,
but
they don't have all four in it. That was my point.
Oh, no. But
yes, those, I agree. Both of those. Some 90s classics.
Not really talked about a lot and
I think
they
even
hold up
Kruger
well.
would like Judgment Night.
Yeah, I think he would. Dennis Leary, probably maybe his best role.
Make it happen.
Yeah,
Throw it on the show.
We can do some 90s throwback. Yeah, come on. Done.
So yeah, man.
Wow.
I had a blast. I had an absolute blast. Again, we'll rate it. I don't know, all-time classic, but I had a great time at the theater. You're right. One thing it was missing, particularly for 1987, is the skin. But that tells you it's pretty good that I'm not bitching too much. And
you know what would have made you if they would have went the other way, which sometimes they like to do nowadays.
Oh, you just saw like a big schlong or fucking
balls.
Man ass. Yeah.
You just see Cara Bueno like drop the top, but then you just see like William Sadler's low hangers.
That's still my problem, dude. That's still my problem with the Slumber Party Massacre remake or whatever the fuck that was. Like the only nudity in the whole movie is just like this long shot of man ass, and I'm like, come on, bro.
I knew we weren't gonna get shit, and I actually it doesn't hold a candle to the original, but that one's entertaining enough.
It is,
but man, Slumber Party Massacre, the nudity's a big part of that original film.
Yeah, for sure.
Something had to make it good.
So all right, she came from the woods. I'm a 3.5 on this one too.
I'm not that high. I'm a 3. I had a really good time. And I do think it's worth checking out. I could go higher, but honestly, I may watch it 1. Oh, Jesus, Ben. I saw your comment now. I'm like in a bad mood. You forgot about Tank
Ben
Girl.
said
Tank Girl is awesome. I've got an autographed Tank Girl poster back there.
What? Wait, hold on. Ben just fucking blew my mind with some fucking nonsense. Okay, he said, Dread Central just called Juice a horror movie slasher. I asked Ben, yes, the Tupac one. He said they had an article on it. Said Tupac was the Jason of the movie. Okay, what the fuck? I love some fucking Juice. Like, love the fuck out of Juice. I kind of want to see Jason show up at the end, and then we got to combine them.
Combine Tupac and Jason. There you go, dude. You could have another 12 movies right there.
I haven't watched.
Thank God for AI technology. Come on, let's make that shit.
Bring Tupac back. Yeah, let's do it.
If he doesn't show up and scream now for some reason.
But it's got to be like Pooh. Tupac's got to like rip off every top and expose the titties first.
Tupac's in Scream in like in the trailer where they show Ghostface with the gun and Ghostface shoots him. He's just like, man, fuck you. Right before he dies, that'd be great.
Can we just unmask Ghostface and it's like Biggie under there?
Who's the big dude that was ahead of the records then? That
Suge
Knight.
Oh yes,
there you go. Jeez. You gotta have him like trying to hunt down Suge Knight. It's like a supernatural revenge.
Holy fuck, dude! I want this movie so bad. Fucking Tupac's ghost, and then Biggie comes back and tries to help him out too. They double team on fucking Suge. Let's do it.
They just get like their web. They just start beating the shit out of him with like gold chains.
That would have to be a run-in from Jam Master Jay or something. He's the gold chains one. Yeah, we can bring it easy. You can do a whole share universe.
Resurrect him. He'd be the skeleton that you like to taunt me with in the back. And we just...
Did you see she was on the Waterboy show? She even made the graphic.
I did see it on the Waterboy.
She even made the graphic this time.
But anyways. We rate it?
She made an appearance in Pooh, Blood and Honey too when he was dragging that skeleton across the fucking woods.
Glad she still gets work.
Yeah.
Anyways, so
what's next, Dan?
I'm just.
We're like an hour in. We're like 2 movies deep.
I feel like you summoned Cliff, but he must be sleeping tonight. All right, so moving on to our next film. Surprisingly, we'll see if we keep the positivity going into our next one, which I believe is you and me, Kruger, because this was the one that Todd was not able to find, which blows my mind in California. But all right, so our next film is The Outwaters from writer-director Robbie Banfitch. And in this one, 4 friends go to shoot a music video in the Mojave Desert and encounter a menacing phenomenon. All right. So, Kruger, I'll tag you in first because I know there was, well, go for it. Hot tag.
Well, I was very excited when I first saw the trailer for this movie, just because they didn't give much away. It was creepy as fuck. And I was just like, fuck, this looks like a really good time. Going into this movie, though, I heard somebody, my buddy from Beyond the Void podcast, I listened to his review, and he had kind of brought up like similarities to Skinamarink. And personally, I didn't see them. I was kind of expecting this not to just be a straight found footage movie and it kind of go that realm, and it didn't. If you watch this video, please comment. I'd love to see what the comparisons you drew were, because I was expecting more of that visceral experience that Skinamarink was, and then it ended up just being straight found footage. Regardless, I can see how you can make some comparisons, but I wasn't really expecting it just to be a straight found footage movie, which I love found footage films when they're done right. So I was pleasantly surprised with that. First thing I want to say, though, about the movie itself, shooting location. That goddamn dude, that creepy in the middle of the desert location that they had really added to the atmosphere of the movie really, really well. And I think they used it to the highest potential it could have been done. The story does take a little too long to get going for me personally, mainly just because I wasn't totally invested with any of the characters. They kind of just seemed like your typical artsy college kids that I wouldn't get along with anyways. But once this motherfucker gets going, dude, it puts the pedal to the metal, and it doesn't let up till the end of the fucking movie. There's just tons of what the fuck moments, some really, really great gore, some interesting creature effects that were shot very, very well. And, nothing like completely mind blowing, but they did with what they had very, very well, I think. And just absolute batshit insane ending. I really dug it. And I can see this going either way for some people. But for me, watching this with a crowd and seeing everybody's reactions to some of the fucked up shit that was happening in this, especially towards the end, it was a great time and just a great experience. I had a full theater. It was in this little art house theater that I have in my town. Probably small, less than 100 seat theater with everybody, and it was packed, and everybody's reactions. You're a certain type of person when you see people just and you're just like, fuck yeah, when you're watching it on screen.
I have an experience story for this one too before I get into my review.
So yeah, I highly recommend this to people that enjoy found footage, and specifically to people that dig the VHS movies, because this kind of feels like it almost belongs in that world. It at times just felt like a really long VHS segment, which was cool. I would say one of the earlier VHS segments, though, because the movies have gotten goofier as time has gone on. This does play it pretty straight. And I also just really want to see more from the director, Robbie Banfitch, who also starred as Robbie in the movie, and I think he did a great job. Get this man on the next VHS movie, because I think he'd fucking kill it. And this was a good time for me. And as of right now, and we haven't reviewed 1,000 movies, that have come out this year, but as of right now, this is my second favorite thing I've seen all year.
Okay. All right. So first, first I'll get into my experience. So I won't reveal whether I liked or disliked the movie yet, but I had a great theater experience because this is rare. It's happened a couple times in recent memory, but this one was like really funny. So a dude, and I assume his girlfriend, she starts crying as we get towards some of the mutilation bits in the back, and she left. She was still crying when I left the theater. She was sitting, there's like a little table as you walk out the doors, and I walk right past her, and she's sitting there like she was obviously still like really shaken up by the movie. It was hilarious, and I'm just sitting there like kind of doing this because like her mascara was running.
You should have pulled a Friday the 13th Part 5, walked up there and just been like, bunch of pussies, and walked away.
Either that or go out the door and just like push it open real fast and scare the shit out of her.
Fall on the floor, start convulsing like something's happening to you after the movie. There you go.
So I love that. Then the movie happened. Well, first off, the Skinamarink comparison first. I have some nice things to say. I wouldn't compare this to Skinamarink, and the reason I say that is we've got a good 40 to 50 minutes roughly of build-up where we see our characters interact. We see their faces. You know, we get a vague idea of who they are. You know, with Skinamarink, it's 90% ceilings, the TV, or walls. Like, so I don't, saying this is Skinamarink, I think, is a little bit inaccurate.
Do you think people are using it? People are using that as a way to say, I hated that movie, but I think this one isn't as bad, or vice versa. Well, people are just using that as a comparison, as another recent horror film that people didn't like.
I didn't like this movie, but it's not Skinamarink.
But you see what I mean? You're still comparing it. You're still doing what other people are. You're comparing it to
Well, no, I think he's bringing it up because I brought it up. But
like, no.
Well, a lot of others have too.
Every time I talk to you, Dan, you've brought it up. The first person who brought this movie up to me was Chris. And that was the first thing he said. He hadn't seen Skinamarink, but he said everyone I was with said this is so much worse than Skinamarink.
Well, and the reason that I think they're getting there is this one does, once we're in the desert and the
well, I don't want to know too much. I'm still going to watch it.
No, well,
I know I'm asking questions, but
it relies a lot on the sort of audio experience where, yes, at that portion we're kind of following with the the camera and the POV, but no, it's not. Skinamarink is kind of its own unique thing, whether you love it or not. But getting into the movie itself, the problem is we do spend 40, 50 minutes roughly getting to know these characters, and I don't feel like I knew a damn thing about them. The blonde girl, I know her mom had passed, but the rest of it, like, I don't get any sense of, why are they friends? Why are they really out there? I mean, it's very vague. Like, they're going to shoot a music video, which was like in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, some random makeup chick is tagging along.
The whole thing was just kind of like, I feel like I just don't know these characters, and I spent plenty of time to get to know these characters. There's moments with this again where I think there's going to be people that like it, maybe even more so watching it at home, turning out the lights. I probably would say this is a better time than Skinamarink. No, Ben, I am not saying it's
Ben Grimm is asking, is this so you're saying this is theater worthy? Chris,
I am not personally.
I say it is, though. If you
well,
at least just for me.
Hold on, but here's the thing, though, with Ben, is it worth going out to? It's a pain in it. Please read it, Dan. I'm sorry,
Ben. Is it worth seeing in the theater, or is it worth the pain in the ass of going to the theater? Well, that's a tough one because I say it is.
Well, Dan. We already know your answer is no. If it was like next door,
personally. How much of a pain of an ass are we talking, Ben? Are we talking like an hour travel? Because I will say no on that. But if it's like a half hour away and there's other people in the theater, I don't know. I think I just had a really good experience because my theater was packed. It was a bunch of fucking, college kids that didn't know what they were getting into. And then watching them all freak the fuck out while I was laughing was a really good experience for me. But, personally, it is going to be on Screenbox pretty soon, so I will say, to save you the bullshit, wait for the Screenbox release. But I know you're a big fan of found footage, Ben, so I think this is definitely one that you want to check out.
Yeah, I mean, one of the biggest issues, this movie has like no story. It really has zero story. It's like an experience film. And that works I know you were the most positive with Skinamarink and this, so that might be something that will appeal to people. I needed a little bit of story.
I wish I would have counted the Skinnamarink comparisons to show Dan.
But also, I think a lot of the there is story there, but it's you got to kind of think about what's going on. Are you referring to the explanation of what's happening to everybody?
Well, there is no explanation.
There kind of could be if you think about it for a second.
Yeah, and I could argue that with you, but there's also an issue with the camera. Couple issues with the camera.
Yeah, but you can't think of, dude, it's a fucking found footage movie. You got to be a little bit forgiving when it comes to that. I
have to believe that. Well, I don't want to spoil what little there is there, but I don't know. 50 minutes. I don't know or care about the characters. Now, I did enjoy some of the late in the game gore
and the effects. I thought were cool.
Yeah, and there are. I shouldn't say you don't see anything. There you see. I don't want to spoil it, but
it builds. Well, I'll take it over from here. Do you get glimpses of little creature effects in it, and then eventually it builds to you see gore, but it's not clear. It's usually through a flashlight or something like that. But then at the end, there's a big final act that brings what you want to see.
And strobe warning though, big time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
kind of figured that though when I saw the trailer. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it can go either way for people. But do you get what I'm saying about the VHS comparison? Honestly, if this was condensed into a little VHS
20
segment,
minutes, sure,
it would have been really, really, really fucking good. I could totally picture this being in that same world. And I do think the director, even his acting, I thought his acting was pretty goddamn good through it. I mean, you're mainly following him throughout the whole movie, and I was surprised. So, like I said, get him on the next VHS. I know we already got, what the fuck is it, 80, 83 or whatever the fuck is the next one, but whatever happens after that, get him on that one because I think he would kill it for sure.
There you go. So yeah, overall, I can't say I loved it. Minus, like I said, some gore at the end was pleasant, and hearing the crying, the crying lady who couldn't take it made me laugh. But I don't know. I can't count the tears of an uninitiated horror fan with my enjoyment of the movie. So I'm a 1. I don't think there's a lot here. Yeah, I just don't think there's a lot here.
Well, that's rough. I'm a 3.5, and I don't, I don't think this is going to become something in my rotation regularly or anything like that. But for what it was and the experience I had in the theater, I had a great time. I would rewatch it. I probably will when it does come out on Screenbox, because there's somebody in particular I want to show it to that I think will kind of freak the fuck out, and I want to see that reaction.
You want tears? We'll make it
absolutely.
All right, so moving on.
So I just read that Juice article.
Oh Jesus!
Can I hashtag Dread Central?
Oh yes, you can hashtag the fuck out of him. I don't give a shit. Okay.
Don't we get screeners for them?
Oh yeah, wait. We love Dread. It's a different. Okay, we better shut up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, brotherfucker.
Technically, we get those from Epic Pictures, so I don't know, but yeah. Okay, well, I disagree with one thing on Dread. Okay, whatever. Fucking, we already fucking lost it. They can eat it, dick, I guess. I'm sorry. I don't know the correct answer now.
Just go for it, Todd.
Okay. Okay, I won't argue it's a thriller, but to call it a horror film, it's an action thriller, whatever you want to call it, drama.
You're on now.
Yes, Juice. But yeah, the horror, modern day horror thriller. See, they're trying to trick that word in there.
It's a
modern day thriller.
It's a stupid clickbait article.
Let me ask this: if I fucking went in and I'm searching online, and then I hear this is the Tupac one, right?
Yeah. I
hear Tupac fucking as Jason Voorhees. All right, motherfucker, let's watch this movie. How pissed off am I going to be?
So bad. I think you could like Juice if you didn't have that going in, because Hawk does not give a fuck.
Well, now Dead Central fucked it up for me. So
God damn it, Dread Central. Yeah.
No, you guys put out some great movies, but
I see it. I get where they're going with, but to flat out state it is where my problem is. Like, it's directed by Ernest Dickerson, who is a horror guy. I mean, so you're gonna see like his, what he likes throughout the movie.
Is there gore in it?
No. I mean,
okay,
no, we don't see Tupac like grab someone.
I want to see fucking Tupac grab a motherfucker. I want to see him grab Suge Knight's head and squish it, and Suge Knight's eyeballs pop out of his fucking.
Only if we get Ahmed Johnson playing Suge Knight.
Suge Knight.
Okay, so yeah, okay. Now I can't go full rant, so goddamn.
Obscure.
This is a gem of a show. Fucking without all this bullshit.
Late night, it's late night. We gotta get him now.
We go into rant.
I got the juice now.
He does.
You know what? I'm gonna fucking end up watching Juice now, like tonight or tomorrow.
It's been like probably a decade for me.
I haven't watched it
like sure as hell don't remember why it's like a horror classic.
I haven't watched it in like 4 months, so
yeah. But yeah,
I watch it a lot.
I think now it's like less and less people pay attention, so they have to come up with this bullshit. But at least, hey, horror.
Hey, no, Dread writes spectacular articles.
They do. Horror Society sucks. They've got every indie dick.
Yeah, you could have just replaced Dread with Horror Society, Todd.
I didn't have a beef with Dread. I was just this article.
So, moving on to our next movie.
It's all Ben's fault, Dread.
Yes. Consecration from writer-director Chris Smith. And in this one, after the alleged suicide of her priest brother, Grace travels to the remote Scottish convent where he fell to his death. Distrusting the church's account, she uncovers murder, sacrilege, and a disturbing truth about herself. Okay, so this director, Christopher Smith, you may not recognize the name, but he has been in the horror genre for a long time. He did 2004's Creep with Franca Potenti, and Severance, which I think is a great horror comedy. Also did Black Death, another one that I liked, Triangle. Most recently, The Banishing, which was a Shudder original.
You said 2004 Creep, right?
Yes.
Yeah. My mind immediately went to the found footage one.
It's effectively like a Raw Meat remake, kind of, sort of. In this one, Jenna Malone is our lead, who plays Grace. A little on the nose with the name, but really always enjoy her. Her acting's really good. This one, like on paper, Scotland,
a little on the nose. Jesus Christ! Did you watch the movie? Sorry, couldn't hold what's in.
I know.
Oh wait, was I blasphemous in our God?
Anything in a?
No, the 666.
I'm just gonna mute. Oh wait, yeah. Which one is that?
Anything that involves
triple nines. Come on.
Todd hates. So seaside convent, creepy nuns. I'm a big Nunsploitation guy. You would think like right up my alley.
How dare you disrespect Nunsploitation?
It's still Nunsploitation. So I will, when The Nun was announced. Now, one thing I will say for The Nun, not a great movie, but what a great trailer. I was super excited for that. Looked like the scariest fucking thing ever made. A really good trailer.
That movie so much.
This one, a little bit, maybe a little more generic of a trailer, but I was really excited. And when I saw who was directing it, I was like, he's had a couple that aren't classics, but I mean, Severance is a great film. Creep, I really love Creep. Black Death, I was really excited. Yeah, it's been that one has been a minute, but so I'll the good first. It does kind of have a decent 70s kind of horror feel to it. It doesn't rely too much on jump scares. It does choose mood and atmosphere over the jump scares, which is a good thing. It's just the movie is just not as scary as I hoped, for one thing, which was a big issue with The Nun. It's not an exploitation film. I say nunsploitation. Don't go into that.
Yeah, it's not nunsploitation, Dan. It's not. The definition of exploitation is to treat something unfairly. They're sucking religion's dick in this movie. They're not treating it unfairly.
Oh, I don't think it's... Well, let me finish. So, okay. Yeah, don't expect Alucarda or Satanico Pandemonium. I love those films. And I like the more serious religious horror as well, because I'm not a degenerate atheist like Todd. But this one is just one of those movies, like, I just had higher expectations than what I've got. It's fine. It's like just on the nose fine. I would not recommend you go to a theater for it. You just don't need to. I thought the dad was really creepy. I thought a lot of the side nuns in here, including the one that had like the fucked up eye that doesn't really speak. But it's like it never really goes anywhere with it. And then when we get towards the end and the shit kind of hits the fan, it doesn't gel with the rest of the movie, which is weird. Like all of a sudden it's like, oh, okay, so this is going to start going hard. It's a little goofy. Like at one point, it kind of turns into like a really weak version of Carrie, where certain
dude, don't even fucking compare it to Carrie. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, but you know what I mean with the
I get it, but
weird thing,
brother.
It's just very generic on the note. You've seen it. Some good performances. Danny Houston as Father Romero. There's a lot of homage names to the characters in this. He's good, but it's just one of those movies. Like at the end, I was like, "Huh, that's it." I was hoping for Saint Maud levels here, and I didn't get it.
I was waiting for Kirk Cameron to show up. I was fucking dying.
It's not.
It fucking has the Lord's balls on its chin the whole goddamn time.
You say that about The Exorcist.
Hold on. Shut the fuck up.
For years, bitched about The Exorcist.
I have said I did not like The Exorcist till it clicked.
Yeah,
I never said anything about the religious
You're gonna have a Consecration T-shirt and an I Heart Jesus bumper sticker in like 2 years.
Can I say I kind of get what Todd is saying, because there's a message in this movie that is kind of shits on the church, but at the same time, it does heavily go into a religious aspect. And I'll just start with my shit. I fucking was really invested in the story at first. First off, Danny Hudson is probably my favorite vampire of all time. I love that fucking human being. In 30 Days a Night, I think he is one of the scariest vampires that we have ever gotten, probably since fucking Nosferatu. I take him even over Bela Lugosi in that fucking movie, because goddamn, dude. I just rewatched after I saw Consecration. I had to go 30 Days a Night because I was just like, fuck, I wanted so much more out of his character in this movie. I needed to go watch him be amazing. And yeah, that movie is fantastic. If you haven't seen 30 Days a Night, you're a vampire fan. Even if you're not a vampire fan, you hate vampire movies, watch that fucking movie. Danny Hudson is the scariest Dracula-looking motherfucker ever, and he has some of the most badass one-liners ever. Talking about way cooler shit than this movie. I was invested in the story at the beginning, but I was expecting more of a possession angle, a possession movie, and it's not really what we ended up fucking getting. There's a turn that this takes in the second half that just did not appeal with me, probably the same reason it didn't appeal with Todd. It felt kind of preachy. Why I said, like, this movie does kind of shit on the church a bit. It does preach into religion.
It's a swerve. That's my problem. Oh, fuck y'all. We got
and like, and just and I just thought it was kind of hokey. The acting's fine, and I could see maybe a small audience, maybe if you're more Christian than some of us on the show. But
I could tell they were trying to get me to relate with that God-hating woman. Also, they could swerve me in the fucking end. That's what my brain told me in the first like 20 fucking minutes. Dude, I'm fucking talking so loud I made my clapper light go off.
Dude, I get what you mean. Although I have to say this.
Jesus, Todd, punishing you, smiting you.
Right, I have to say this. There is a sequence that involved a nun right before the movie ended that made me burst out and inappropriately laugh, like way more hysterical than I have laughed at a movie in a really fucking long time. And the looks I got after that were worth the price of admission. I'm not happy I saw this movie in the theater. Once I saw that Shudder logo go at the beginning and then the movie ended, I was like, yeah, I totally could have waited till this.
Did you find the detective character kind of pointless?
Yeah, he sucked, and
I don't know why it was there. Not the actor's fault. Just like I was like, man, why do we keep going back to this fucking detective? He's pointless.
Yeah, but he had to convey too. Like they needed him for the 2 scenes they basically have him. I get why he's there, but yeah, he's literally there to move 2 plot points.
Yeah, it was. I was totally invested, and then like I was all with the main character, and then it just became kind of really way too preachy for my liking. And again, I went in expecting possession movie with Danny Huston in it, so I was pretty disappointed, but at the same time, it's not like one of the worst things I've seen all year either. It wasn't made for me, and there may be a small audience out there for it.
I'll tell you what, the next Secret Santa selection, I'm going to make Todd watch all the Left Behind movies, but not the Cage one. It's got to just be the Kirk Cameron ones. Then you're going to see the difference because I'm going to.
You know what? See, here's the thing, though, Dan. That me going in knowing that I'll be fine. I will easily watch the Left Behind movies to shit on them. Not a problem. Not at all.
I think one's like 2 hours, 45 minutes.
Hey, isn't Easter coming up? Can we do the Passion of the Christ watch along, please?
We've done it once, but we could do a video Patreon one.
Yeah.
Dan may have computer problems.
That should happen.
So, yeah, I mean, this is just kind of generic. Oh, I did laugh when there's like a nun. To call it a torture scene kind of sets it up for more than what it is. But when the nuns were jumping up and down on the door that was laying on that guy, I started laughing. I was like, what? Dude, like, you could have like pull his fingernail off.
Dude, my mind immediately went to like, somebody's going to jerk off to this shit. Like they're going to, like there's some kink out there that is into this fucking scene right there.
The dude's like a sadomasochist and he's just sitting down there. Oh, harder.
Yeah, right. Dude, look at Tony Atlas, fucking his Christmas goddamn greeting to everybody. He's getting fucking big booed in the face 20 fucking
times. The nuns are just jumping on him and he's doing that goofy laugh.
Oh, wait, hold on. I think Ben just got us a good request.
Ben Grimm, do the Firestorm movie. It's like the Christian movie where porn is ruining the world. I'm unfamiliar with it. I know Firestorm with Howie.
Yeah, I don't think
Mandel. Howie Long.
Howie Mandel.
Oh man, can you imagine the action movie with like Howie Mandel?
He's putting fucking rubber gloves on his head.
Oh my god!
I was forced to go see him live.
Like you got like Scott Adkins or some badass like just cracking his knuckles, and then you see like Howie Long pull out the gloves.
He's like over here.
I want to fuck you up.
All right, hold on. We're talking about again way more.
I know, and we're like running late.
Yeah, fucking no, I'm cool, but let's rate this fucking piece of shit so we can move on to the next one.
It's not a piece of shit, but watch it when it's on Shudder, which I think this one is going to be a Shudder premiere. It's a 2.5. It's just an average horror movie. It does have some decent mood, and I like that it shows mood over jump scares.
There's so many other recent Shudder movies I would have rather seen theatrically than this fucking religious propaganda film. It's like one too many. You know, the world's ending. We all get it. I don't need to see this religious bullshit to make me think I'm going to some make-believe fairyland in the sky. So 0 from Todd. Pat, move along.
Whoa.
Damn. All right. First 0 of the year from Todd.
I'm like a 2.
A 2? I'm a 2 as well.
Oh damn! It felt like you were more like a 0, but
no,
my anger was.
It's a touchy subject, dude. I think me and Todd both grew up in those fucking ultra religious families, and we're like,
oh,
fuck
God,
this
no.
shit.
But I did post in the group. I do have some church basement stories for the next post show.
Oh, damn.
I did at one point go to Catholic school.
Yeah, I did.
A hot nun.
No, I did.
And I'll tell you, those don't really exist.
And how much pussy did you get from her?
No.
You're right. None.
I don't think my balls dropped yet. But
move on before I make an inappropriate joke.
But yeah, that was kind of a hot nun.
But yeah, I went to Catholic school too, but unfortunately we didn't have any hot nuns. They were all fucking like 60-year-old haggard women.
We have Bruno Mattei and Joe D'Amato to deliver us the good nuns.
Don't we have a Nunsploitation set we've been waiting on for like a year at this point?
Yeah, we can dive into that. I know we have a
see the show, Dan. I like religious stuff.
If they're like lesbians and getting like,
well, Dan, you know I am not like you in that respect.
Oh, I love me some lesbian stuff. I like.
Okay, I'll 25-19. I better cut Dan his joy of saying it.
All right, so
that's the second time in one show he's got.
Well, we do have another end of the world movie coming in that does have, faith is kind of a theme in the movie. So we'll see if Todd hates that too. And that is
Ben. Exorcist is pro-religion. I agree, and you kind of have. That's always been my problem with it. You have to believe in it to make it work.
But faith doesn't win depending how you look. Well,
it's pro-religion. To me, Exorcist religion exists. To me, pro-religion is you're trying to convince me that this is what I need to fucking believe in.
It's like Harry Potter.
There you go.
All right, so
what are we talking about?
I don't know. Harry Potter
Knock
at the cabin. That's right. Well, we saw like 2 weeks ago.
Which features Rupert Grint, who played somebody in Harry Potter, so it kind of makes sense. All right,
boom.
So
there you go.
Knock at the Cabin from director M. Night Shyamalan, and because for some reason they don't want to make the next Stephen King, and I'm not saying Paul Tremblay is the next Stephen King. There's others I would probably prefer get that title, but he's a good writer. Paul Tremblay, who wrote Cabin at the End of the World, that this is based off of. It's important to throw that out there because
on the poster it names 3 of the screenwriters, but not him.
Yeah, like make somebody Stephen King's not going to be around forever. Make somebody, guys. Like put a name out there, and if the movie does well, which this movie's doing well. Paul Tremblay has other books. Like maybe throw his fucking name on there, and you'll create
M. Night Shyamalan's the Hulk Hogan of the movie industry.
Pretty
doesn't
much.
want to put.
I wrote it all, brother.
But you notice you want to put his name on it on the first trailer,
huh?
Like M. Night's, they kind of like downplayed his name in the first trailer.
I kind of feel like they should. I mean, because let's just say, to be nice, hit or miss, mostly miss in my opinion lately. But anyway,
for sure, yeah.
So all right, so Knock at the Cabin. In this film, while vacationing, a girl and her parents are taken hostage by armed strangers who demand that the family make a horrible choice to avert the apocalypse. So towards the end, I'll do a couple differences between the book and the movie, but I'll spare you that for the review. But I can let you know, I read the book. I want to say it came out in like 2017, 2018. So it's been a minute, but I do remember some distinctly different things. But having said that, none of you read the book, right?
No.
So hot tag to whoever wants it, since you're just kind of going in, seeing the movie for what it is.
Well, the trailer definitely interested me just because I'm not like a big Marvel guy, so I haven't seen a lot of Dave Bautista's acting work, but something about him in the trailer really like drew me to it. And I was really invested in the story at first, mainly because of his gentle giant character. It just really intrigued me. And I thought he absolutely just killed it in this role. And he's the best thing about this whole movie. Unfortunately, this was rated R, and I really wanted some on-screen violence, especially when we were introduced with these amazing fucking weapons that the antagonists were holding. But every time a kill happened, it was off screen, and that really, really fucking pissed me off. And there was a point in the story where it started to lose me. And because of that, the final act, I really wasn't into the story really at all. And there was a certain point where I felt like the movie should have ended, and it kept going and left me thinking, oh, there's going to be more to this, and then ended. And I was like, oh, that was it. And that's kind of a common theme with M. Night Shyamalan's movies for me personally. And I also have to point out this movie had a decent budget, and the CGI was pretty poor. The planes falling down, the burning house at the end of the movie, I just thought looked pretty bad in my opinion, and it kind of took me out of the experience a little bit. Overall, though, with Dave Bautista's acting and his character and his part, I can't really have a total negative feeling about it because I think he really shined pretty bright in this movie. And that's probably why I didn't hate it, because if he was taken out of this whole factor and his character wasn't the thing, and I honestly don't really see anybody else that could have played his character as well as he did. But without him, I probably wouldn't have liked this movie as much as I did. But with him, I would say it's about average for me.
Okay. Todd, what did you think?
I think I liked it better than Kruger. I think it's closer to form than Old. I think Old was, I like aspects of Old, but then he has to twist it up and do this and that. But this one I thought was concept wise different. It was smaller, like we while the scope was the entire world. I had no, other than the first trailer, I didn't know what I was getting into. I never read the book. I was entertained, and I think a lot of it has to do with Dave Bautista, and the little girl was really good. So
she was great too.
Them together. And as a parent, like I get that. So I mean, I would have been done a lot quicker. I'd be like, there's the wife.
Damn.
Late night.
I know, I'm just kidding.
Like you could sacrifice yourself, Todd. God damn it.
No, I thought you couldn't pick yourself. I thought that was the whole gimmick.
No.
Well, that's what I heard.
You have to decide between the three of you who goes.
That's what I heard, motherfucker.
I'm gonna tag somebody on Facebook with the time code.
Jesus.
So I did read the book. The ending's very different, which I'll get into. I don't want to spoil it, although there will be book spoilers at the end, and I'll compare the endings. But very different, similar up to a point. I'm going to say at this point, I think as far as wrestlers turned actors, Batista probably has more range than The Rock.
Cena, dude. Cena's my number one right now.
Dude, he doesn't have the range, but
he's good at a specific thing. You can like him better, but he's good at action comedy mostly for me.
Yeah, but he has some glimmers in Peacemaker that are pretty fucking impressive, man.
Dramatic, sort of.
Dude, yes.
He has his moments, but I don't think he's anywhere near Batista's level.
Yeah, he could be.
I think Cena's over Rock, though. I do.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Rock is like just a niche thing right now.
He's the Rock. Like I was telling Dan, like we were talking about the Rock movies. Like, if you like the Rock, you're gonna like San Andreas and Skyscraper and stuff like that.
I felt like the Rock would be nearing a point where he would try and do the Bruce Willis thing and try and branch out a little bit. Jesus. Well, I meant Bruce Willis in his prime. Like,
did you hear about the rumor about The Rock being the fucking new headline actor of Pirates of the Caribbean? That was like a thing that came out like yesterday or some shit I saw when I was scrolling through Facebook.
I don't know.
Like it's some rumor that's going around. That would be hilarious.
It's just the new Jack Sparrow. I've just been doing a lot of fucking roids.
Oh my god, dude! He has the goatee and everything. I would lose my mind.
Jeez.
He's got the dreads.
Yeah, I mean the thing about The Rock is, I like The Rock well enough. I don't think he's necessarily ever hit a home run. And his most popular movies were in already established franchises.
Jumanji's the one. While yes, it is in an already established franchise.
Yeah,
but he revived it like 30 years later.
Well, he did a good job.
There's a difference. Sure. Yeah, he did. And they're enough to work on their own. There's a difference between that and him jumping into the Fast and the Furious franchise. I think.
Yeah, any pick any actor and throw him in Fast and the Furious,
and they do.
One thing I'll say though, The Rock in Rampage, like him and Jeffrey Dean Morgan play very good off of each other, and I think that's a really, really good kaiju movie. Even though like a lot of people shit on it, I love the video game and I thought the movie was awesome. But talking about fucking
not the cabin.
Yeah. Batista was the best actor in this. Batista was good in The Glass Onion too.
I just watched that last night, actually.
And that's one of the first ones that really I was like, okay, this guy can like play different characters.
Yeah,
like he's not John Cena.
The Rock
basically playing versions.
The Rock needs to try and make his Sixth Sense.
No, he doesn't. The Rock needs to just do Rock movies because it will show how bad of an actor is if he tries to go the Willis route.
But all right, so the movie though, I loved all the characters. That's one thing that kind of because I'm not a diehard fan of the book, to be honest, and because of the ending, but all the characters were super likable. You feel the love from this family. You want them to, come out of it on the other side. There's a very major departure from the storyline of the book that hits harder, and it's a more proper sort of horror development, in my opinion, that I liked. Although the book's ending, I'll just say, is a bit of a non-ending, while this is a little bit more definitive. In this case, actually, the ending's probably better. And I'll explain later. But yeah, Batista's fantastic in this. His character is really interesting because he's this giant fucking monster, but also very conflicted because he believes what he's doing. He believes he's, potentially saving the world. So I think that's a very interesting thing to watch with these characters, and again, I should say, like, they can't make the choice in this. They have to convince the family to sacrifice someone, which I do love the basic premise, and I did enjoy it. I won't lie, there's one major thing I wish they had kept.
Which Dan will tell us in spoilers.
I will tell you in spoilers. You're going to agree when I tell you what it is.
I'm curious what the different ending was. And I'd love to hear his reason for the different ending.
Yeah, I definitely would. I don't think Paul. I mean, it's kind of a big break for him. So I'd really be curious, like, to have a candid conversation and see what he thought about it. But
I'm still trying to find his damn name on here.
But yeah,
there it is.
I
way at the end, based on a book.
I think you're going to enjoy this more if you haven't read the book. Possibly, if you can go in blind. I think this is one of those cases where, yeah, because like some of it was very familiar, and then I don't know. I'm kind of middle of the road on this one. I did enjoy certain aspects quite a bit, but then I was a little bored at times.
Really?
Too. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as compelling, and I was hoping, even though the ending's different and you could argue better from the book, I wanted a little more.
I wonder if that kind of like because I didn't know any, like, you were familiar with the material. Do you think that kind of like?
Yeah, because they really puss out on something that I think was really powerful, and it's a more definitive ending in the movie, but it's not the best ending they could have had.
Okay, there's a more definitive ending in
the movie versus the book.
Okay. Yo, real talk though,
totally Hollywood out on a more disturbing thing that goes down. I'll just put it that way.
Did anybody get what I mean about the CGI shit at the end though? Like, seriously,
I didn't catch it.
Dude, it looked bad when the cabin was burning. Oh my god, like the worst CGI fire.
You could see the fire. I did notice that now that you bring that up.
Yeah, that and the planes. I didn't
notice on the planes.
Yeah, it seemed like this had a big budget to it, and all that stuff looked like it could have been cleaned up better.
We only really get glimpses. I mean, it's mostly on the TV, so like this.
Yeah, but the plane stuff, you see it fucking like at the sky, out of the sky at the end, and it just looked. It jarred the fuck out of me, even more so than the CGI and Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey.
I wasn't bringing it up, but it popped in my head. But all right, well.
Ben does bring up that The Rock tried with Get Shorty and Southland Tales. Yeah, kind of,
and that's why he doesn't anymore.
But
while I do like Southland Tales, though,
I have to revisit that one.
I haven't watched the new edit yet.
I would also say, what was the Mark Wahlberg one where they were like meatheads? Although I'd still say he was The Rock. Pain and Gain.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he definitely is The Rock, but people consider that Michael Bay's one of his best movies.
Yeah, I've never seen The Rock disappear into a role and become something else. So I'll just put it that way.
Hey, when he played Rocky Johnson on that '70s show, I thought it was his dad.
Well, there you go. So yeah, I don't know. This one's enjoyable, but it also had that feel of something that if I wasn't a podcaster, I could have easily have just watched it at home. I don't think it's a go out to the movies kind of thing. It would have been just the same experience on Netflix. Kind of felt like
I 100% disagree with that statement, but I say that with any film.
Yeah, well, I will tell you then what happens. Do we want to do that after we do Last of Us, though?
You should look at the private chat, Dan.
We need to rate this too.
We'll rate this first. So great acting. I do like Batista a lot. Ever since Blade Runner, I think I was like, you know what? This guy might.
You just lowered the rating of this movie, guys.
2049 is a 5 out of 5, 6 out of 5. You have bad taste in sci-fi. All right, so
I don't like sci-fi.
This one's a 2.5. Well, it's a 2.5 for me overall. Although the acting is spectacular, everybody's plays their parts well, but it's just
Cougar.
2.5 for me as well.
Man, I'm the highest one. Suck. I'm a 3.5 on this one. I did like it. Hey, you know what? I'm a 3. 3. Yeah. Sorry.
3.
All right.
Yeah, it is. It's weird because it's like a big movie, but it's small. So it doesn't. I do think you should see it on a big screen, like all movies. But I get what Dan's saying with that too. So
yeah.
Oh, but before I move on, or before Dan moves on, Pugs chimed in too.
No.
I'd say it's just all right. Nothing offensive, impressive across the board. I found the flooding imagery to be unnerving, but I was never interested. I was never invested, just interested enough. There was one thing I wish they kept in from the book. Knowing me, I'm sure you can figure out what that is, having knowledge of the original story. So Dan will tell us whatever it is, I'm sure. Had I been given the same opportunity or choice, I'd happily watch the world end, dick firmly in hand. Kudos to Batista. 2.5 out of 5. I'd watch it again.
All right. So 3 of us are about all the same.
I'm just a little higher.
All right. So guys, we're going to run down the card for XPW Pleasures of the Flesh real quick. And then we will do Last of Us. And I'll tell you, I'll kind of let you guys know as far as my memory goes, some of the differences, the main ones for not.
Dan will have, we'll do some book spoiler.
Some book spoiler.
Before we do, let's just throw it to the trailer and we'll be right back.
Motherfuckers out there, it's time to win a chance to butt bang your daughter's tight virgin cherry ass. To call her number 666.
I love they use that footage.
I love the hardcore footage. I popped when I first saw that. So,
Kruger, if you have not seen hardcore,
yes.
time to change that.
Gotcha.
There is one thing though; it's like all East Coast footage, though, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Just
Yeah,
popped in my head.
42nd Street though.
I'm not complaining.
Yeah. So we're gonna run down the card and
okay, let me ask you this before we because we got two things to run down. Would you like to do the card first or talk about the women first?
I want to talk about the women first.
Okay, that was a hard one. Well, maybe hopefully not literally. Okay, well, let me grab the first picture. There we go, Dan.
Well, yeah, so first off, Kat Martini, the TV champ, is going to be hosting the Miss Extreme contest. So this is going to be XPW's debut on their own streaming service. So the theory is, I don't know.
StreamXPW.com.
Yep.
Yes.
Wrong picture.
I was figuring. So the theory is they're going to be able to get away with a whole lot more that they couldn't get away with on Fights.
Well, this is Dan's theory, but I mean, they have no.
I mean, they've definitely alluded to that.
Because these
They
are
have
not
no rules.
women's wrestlers. They are. We got some.
What did Schlatt call it? I can't remember it was on Rob's show. I don't remember what he called them. Kruger, I'm looking at leaning on you for that one. Do you remember?
Dude, I listen to that shit like every fucking goddamn day. So they kind of blend together.
I know okay. Well, let's see. Who do we have up here first?
The lovely ladies. Let's see.
I don't have them in order, so sorry for not in
it's
order. Okay.
Ooh, Marika Hayes. She is a contender.
Well, we know Ozzy V, who will be live in attendance. He should be the one sitting at the booth looking sad. That's his favorite.
Ozzy admits to watching Smut. High and mighty Ozzy V.
I won't say he has her on a VR accessory.
Oh my goodness.
And then I told him to tell her. And you know what? I am saying it on the show because you know what? The odds of Ozzy watching this before are 0.
Yeah, that is true.
You gotta just start like spamming Flesh Food and Farce with Marika Hayes. Nothing else.
Sounds like a plan.
Okay, this may be my favorite for reasons. Brandy Graves.
I'm not familiar with her, Dan.
She is a lovely, lovely lady. I wouldn't say like I've watched like a ton of her work, but I'm curious to see her at the show.
I'm sure she'll be a nice, lovely young lady we get to meet. Hopefully, I don't know. Maybe we'll try to get some interviews for you guys. Oh yeah, did we mention what we should be going live from there? What?
Yes, we're gonna have live footage from Pleasures of the Flesh, and you might get to hear from some of these lovely ladies.
No, Dan, they're not too spicy. They're all okay for Facebook. Don't worry, Dan. I'm not. Yeah.
All right. So Taylor Nicole, I love a nice redhead, and I do. She's also a potential winner.
Dan, are you going to say that for every woman that shows
I'm trying to be respectful, Todd. I'm not going to.
I know. I was like throwing it. I expect Dan to be like
gentleman, Todd.
His excitement level, you figured he was going to put it out. Am
look
I wrong?
At those titties or anything. I'm a respectful gentleman, Todd. I'm always am. Alexis Amore. She has some talent. I'm just saying, like, I won't be there live for this one. You could, you have my number. I can give it to you like on some biz. I can like one day it out to you.
Do not do this, please.
I'm just saying. I have my favorites, but I am totally like,
okay, Dad. Yeah,
I am single, ladies. I'm just saying.
Oh my god.
Just saying.
That's what we get for doing this shit at 3 in the morning.
Slava, if you're listening and you You can vouch for me. I'm a nice guy.
That's Dan. Yeah, don't do
Nice
it.
guy.
Don't do it. Okay.
But anyway,
Dan.
Darcy Diamond. Another. I'm gonna say each one's my favorite. And like, let's just say they are all very pleasant to look at and are all contenders.
My favorite is coming up next. XPWOG. And of course,
J-Love. Yes.
Return of J-Love.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm already too excited for that. And we already have a confirmed interview after the show.
Oh, okay. After
I don't understand.
Pleasures of the Flesh.
Yes.
Or is some mad person gonna hop on here at like 4 a.m.?
No, we'll do it there. Yeah.
I was gonna say, if you're gonna like bust out J-Love right now, it's just gonna be like all of a sudden like the 10 people watching is gonna turn into like 200.
It's true.
So yeah, this is XPW's once again, Todd, because it's
right there, streamxpw.com, or you can go to the regular website, the xpwwrestling.com, and it clicks you right there too.
Okay. And Ben, we don't know if it's gonna overlap with Elimination Chamber.
It starts. I'm trying to figure out the time for sure. It's ticket says 7 p.m. Pacific time. So that would be 10 o'clock East Coast time. I'm not sure if that's the doors open time, which I'm pretty sure it is, and bell time's 8. So that would be
how it's been.
Okay,
there hasn't been a kickoff lately.
Yeah, because I don't pay attention because I'm there. So I'm like, yeah. So okay, then it probably there might be a little. It just depends like how tight WWE does on their 3 hours. And Dan said they've been doing that pretty close, right?
And they haven't strayed too much over the 3 hours, so there might be a little bit of overlap. Might be watching 2 screens for a short period of time.
Well, if one opens with a Miss Extreme, Dan won't be watching.
Oh yeah, like I'm sorry you're getting your moment right now, Sammy, but Sammy for Syria, Dan for movie.
Dan's got like 6 favorites competing in the Miss Extreme.
It's just I all the Ole chants. It's not going to matter. I'm just going to be
Okay, well, let's see what else we got. There's some matches too.
Yeah, there's some wrestling on this wrestling show.
Ole over Ole. All right, so Lindsay Kruger got it late. Lindsay Snow, who has been a favorite lately, she's slated in every match, taking on Chelsea Durden, making her second appearance. So Lindsay's been awesome. I mean, she hasn't missed lately. She's just been killing it. Chelsea, a little bit new. Curious to see her develop here. Lindsay's a great opponent. So, yeah, I'm excited for that.
Todd, did you hear about the story of Lindsay tattooing hardcore hillbilly in the hotel room?
Yes.
That was pretty great on the Rob Black show.
Yes.
Fucking entertainment for days on that motherfucker.
If you're not listening, definitely check it out.
Even though he totally shit on me, like fuck it, a couple of shows ago, but it's all good, dude.
I just listen for the parenting tips because I'm like, God damn it, Rob, I get that. But he's just like telling his kid, "Fuck you."
It cracks me the fuck up.
Let me sleep. I'm like, get that shit.
No, dude, that shit, like the way he does it reminds me of like the old school Howard Stern shit. Fucking like they would have like callers come in and fucking do shit. Like it's pretty entertaining.
Yeah. Seems like Hillbilly's becoming his new Will on.
Dude, that shit is hilarious as fuck.
I want Hillbilly in the office every fucking.
Dude, you guys need to get an interview with him.
The Wall of Dicks, yeah.
Dude, we need to get an interview with the XPW superstar Hardcore Hillbilly.
I think we can make that one happen.
I mean, that's all you guys, but fucking.
You know what? I'm hoping we can get him live on Saturday.
Dude, you probably could. You may need to bribe him with some Cheesecake Factory.
Oh, you know what?
I'm not going to shit on
I'm gonna stop
cheesecake.
talking because my brains are working. All right. What's our next match?
All right. XPW Women's Champion Ludark Shaitan taking on Miranda Elise. So Ludark, I'm a huge fan. Honestly, the God, like maybe next to Schlack, maybe she's like been the MVP lately, and everybody's been pulling their weight. But Ludark, I haven't seen a shitty match from Ludark in XPW, that's for sure. She kills it every time. I'm a little less familiar with her opponent. Seen a little bit. Maybe you guys know her a little bit more.
I honestly, you know me. I watch XPW.
Okay.
I kind of try to keep it like now that it's back. I kind of pay attention to the other stuff. But yeah, that's not a name I've like come across.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with her work.
So I'm guessing she's an East Coast.
I've heard some good things.
Okay.
I've heard some good things.
Okay, Big T has the big question. When are you ever going to get the Soul Taker? We'll get to that in a minute. Because I want it. What of 2 matches? All right, so and then what number? I'm going backwards, reverse order. Why did I number it wrong? Okay.
Oh, the juicy one.
Juventud Guerrera back hosting the Juice Bar. Well, we've talked about his promos lately. I'm sure somebody might crash the Juice Bar.
Who's going to show up?
Todd, can you pull that flyer back up for a second? If you smell what the juice is cooking, that is fucking gold.
We gotta bring Enzo, the real one, back again.
I just want Juicy just to curse at Dan. That's all I want now. Fuck you, Dan. Suck a dick, Dan.
Dude, remember at the last XPW show you had me like recording fucking Taya's match for him and shit?
Okay, Hoovy, if you're watching this, the guys that were talking shit.
Yeah, that was not fucking me. I was pissed off. I'm sitting next to like the worst shit talkers in the fucking crowd.
The best part was you're like, hey, I'm recording. I was like, okay, then I immediately start to say something I shouldn't.
Yeah, you fucking asshole.
I was at that point I was a little high, so
I'm sitting here fucking trying not to get heat. Todd's fucking burying me while I'm fucking holding Hoovy's camera.
Hey, Caesar was the one.
Dude, they're watching that shit on the ride back. Like, this fucking cocksuckers. Like, what the fuck?
That's the best part. You know they totally watch that shit on the way back. Yeah. And Caesar just fucking talking shit the whole fucking show.
Thank God it wasn't the fucking Masada match.
You just snap a bunch of dick pics.
Jesus Christ.
That would be a funny rib. I mean,
Movie's just like, what the fuck?
Oh, this is what we get for doing the show this fucking late.
Shit. I keep laughing and clapping, turning my light on and off.
It's Jesus, Todd. He's trying to show you he's out there.
All right.
I swear if anybody fucking is actually watching this shit.
Wait,
I'm after.
Or you just zoom in on his package the whole time. What the fuck?
Oh, okay. Well, I thought I had another graphic for Kat. Isn't she defending the TV title?
Is she? I know she's hosting the Miss Extreme.
I think she's just hosting.
Okay,
There's an official match for her.
Yeah, okay.
Although, who knows? It's XPW. Yeah. It could happen. But
have you guys been watching the promos? Judge Joe Dredd has been calling for his shot back at the TV title because he feels there has been an injustice in XPW.
There you go. Could happen.
Yeah, maybe Biggie Biggs coming.
Biggie Biggs comes for a fucking #1 contendership,
right?
Match. Dude, that poor bastard. Dude, he was swagging and everything, and then gets kicked in the dick and DDT'd to hell. What the fuck? I mean, shit happens, but goddamn. That's
Never trust
like,
a woman.
Like what a way to go.
All right, so
all right, what do we got? Number 3. Okay,
this will be great. Lou Nixon taking on Drake Younger. Drake's, I mean, death match of the year with Schlack, as far as I'm concerned.
he had like top 3 death match last
him with Masada too, dude.
Yeah.
And then his match with Big Joe, everybody's already been calling that death match of the year already in January.
Yeah, I was gonna say Masada too.
Yeah, no, his match with Masada, watching that live, like personally, best death match I've ever seen live. I think I told you guys to say that on the show or whatever, but yeah, it was pretty fucking amazing. It's just total awesome old school Japanese style wrestling, and you don't get to see that in the States very often, but those are two guys that have been there and done it and fucking do it at the highest level. And anything with Drake right now, I think is must see. He's putting out, I think, some of his best work, which is amazing at his age and how late he's been in this game. But fuck, dude,
his first match back with the Body.
Yeah, I mean, even that, but and just to see how every match has just progressed, and he's back as good as I think he's ever been. So, you know, as he said at the end of the December XPW show, you know, he doesn't know how many he's got left in him, but for fuck's sake, he's going to kill it for as long as he can right now with XPW. And I think that's like, he's definitely one of the most must-see people on the show. I mean, him, Schlack, and Masada, I think they're, and Necro Butcher, MAGA Butcher, like those 4 people are carrying the company right now.
I mean, the Butcher was like nearly decapitated the last show, so
yeah,
fuck. He was only like 2 inches away from.
Dude,
yeah,
wild.
Oh God. Hopefully. All right, let's go to number 2. Speaking of,
it became a Final Destination kill, just about. All right, Big F and Joe taking on a mystery opponent in place of the Body. You think? I mean, who knows? But I'd like to see. This would be, you know, a little different. But I know they had PCO booked at one point. A little random, maybe.
No, that would be a good match.
Yeah,
wasn't it supposed to be them 2?
No, it was PCO and
Necro Butcher, and something happened. Yeah, that didn't happen.
Right.
But
no,
but the Body has some family issues going on, as heard on the Rob Black show, so he's not going to make it. But I'm curious. PCO would be great. I think him and Big Joe would tear it the fuck up. I'm trying to think of some like deathmatch opponents though.
My gut says it's going to be someone from Mexico.
Either that or like I wonder like maybe
Ciclope,
like who's the deathmatch guys they usually have on the LA shows?
Like who's missing? Like normal?
Yeah, who hasn't been booked for a match yet?
Terex. I mean,
yeah,
he's. I mean, there's a couple spots. Honestly,
I mean that would be a rematch, right? From the
that would be a round 1 rematch.
Yeah, that could happen. So, that'd be interesting. I'd be down to see that.
Yeah, like I like, you know, I was thinking Ciclope. Dan said that too. I was just thinking stuff, you know, Mexico right there.
But honestly, even if it's not a deathmatch guy, I mean, PCO, isn't it fucking amazing what that dude can do into his 50s? Like he is not slowed down. He'll take like a fucking like just a
apron bump.
Yeah, like the apron bump from like the top turnbuckle. I'm like, how
he's wild.
Is it more impressive to you because he's bigger? Because I mean, look at
bigger
Funk.
And in his like what mid-50s?
Yeah, but I mean, look at Funk was doing that shit till the 60s.
Yeah, but Punk wasn't taking bumps like that, brother.
Funk, Terry Funk
took some bumps, but fucking PCO is like he's had his shoulder fucking completely be popped out and like up here by his fucking ear from taking a kick from a steel step. Like he's done some wild shit. That motherfucker is crazy.
Go back and watch his match with Walter before Walter got signed.
That's one of my favorite matches. That was the first Joey Janela spring break. And fucking PCO moonsaulted, and Walter didn't catch him, and it went all on the ref. But like, dude, he basically moonsaulted on the nothing. It was insane. That was like PCO's first big match back.
Yeah, that guy still got it, and it had good reason to watch Impact when you can for his stuff. Because
I hope AEW gives him a shot. Like they should. They give some older guys fucking some shit. They should give PCO a chance to shine. I think.
Well, you got Jeff Jarrett right now.
Yeah.
I think Big T. I don't think this was what he said it for, but I'm going to use it anyway. Big T got a good opponent.
Soul Taker. Maybe. I don't know.
Versus Big Joe?
I don't care. I just want Soul Taker on the West Coast.
Dude, Soul Taker versus Big Joe would be hilarious. That'd be awesome.
I want Soul Taker just to come out and win Miss Extreme.
I love Soul Taker. Or he just stacks them all up in like a big ass coffin at the end.
No hoes matter. No, sorry. No holes matter. I get it right.
Yeah. You would have to pay his booking fee if he can tombstone each one.
There we go.
Yeah. So, what do we got next?
Well, we got the big mystery opponent, the big one.
Yeah.
Right.
The MAGA Butcher with a mystery partner taking on the Faces of Death, Shlack and Masada.
I don't know. Is that Kurt Angle?
I want to just angle that look on his face like 30 seconds into the match when Shlack breaks like 20 light tubes over his head. I should have just stayed fucking retired. Shlack is so much worse than Baron Corbin.
Oh my god.
He's like, and I thought Benoit was bad.
Shlack's just stabbing them with fucking tubes and shit the first 3 seconds of the match.
Angle tries to go for like a drop to hold, and he just starts getting shanked in the back. Well, I kind of want it to be Kurt Angle, but I'm gonna guess that's probably no.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, it's someone who's never been in XPW, so it works.
Yes, he said somebody that hasn't ever been in XPW, and also he said that it is not Zandig. So
he said that. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
he said that is what you're saying.
Yeah,
I bet.
No, yeah, he
Big
did on
T,
the podcast.
Mr. America.
We also know it's not Hardcore Hillbilly because
eliminated the faction there.
So I'm not sure. Maybe.
Did he say he's never wrestled in XPW before or never been?
Yes. No, never wrestled.
I was gonna say Munch could be the partner.
Are they gonna raid NWA again? Are we getting like Tyrus taking on Shlack?
That would be hilarious. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Like, I don't even know off the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, it's pretty open.
It's definitely not
Tom
Drake.
Latimer the last show, so.
No, so we think it's going to be someone who's also very MAGA-ish. Can you imagine how excited our Pugs would be if it was fucking Bill after I've been talking shit on stupid ass fucking Big Bill? It's the stupidest fucking name in wrestling, Bill. Big fucking Bill. What a fucking... I'm working around saying the word if you can feel it.
I don't think he's.
Although it's not that far fetched considering the era of WWE guy he is. I mean, he knows Drake.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's not.
I don't think he's going to do any death match.
I don't think that either. But I'm just saying, like him showing up wouldn't be out of the question. I don't think.
No. I mean, I could see him being booked for a show. Why not?
And look who we had doing hardcore shit last show.
Although, depending what goes down with Miss Extreme, I could see Tony's like, yeah, we're excluding. We're excluding you guys from doing XPW. I don't know. I don't know.
I know they're going to deliver.
Tyrus fits that too, but I don't think he's doing anything outside of NWA.
Yeah, he fits that too. They basically fucking PG'd up at the gimmick.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrus would make for not the best match if we're being honest, but I don't know. I'd be okay if it were Cass. I'm just gonna call him Cass because I agree the name's stupid. I don't really have anybody else.
Oh, I don't want it to be. I'm just saying that he would work.
Like I don't really. I mean, at least there's not a lot of wrestlers that are at least openly so that kind of fit it. Or is anybody else doing like a similar gimmick?
EC3.
I mean, EC3 would do it.
I'm sure he would. But
didn't he just sign with? Was it NWA or was it MLW?
No,
it doesn't
NWA.
No.
Did anyone notice?
Jesus Christ.
You know what? EC3 might be the most likely out of that. I don't think he was. Was he mad? I don't know. I don't pay attention to people's politics, so I didn't.
Well, you know, and honestly, it could just be someone like I don't know. Everyone in that group believes those politics.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think it needs to be somebody that's like a MAGA person.
But it has to be someone who at least can be like, yeah, I don't
can look the part. Can look the part.
Well, I wouldn't say at least one of those people in that group looks the part. I say two of those people don't really fit the part.
That is true. That is true. So it could be.
I mean, they fit the part, but I mean, there's things that contradict like the MAGA thing.
You could. That's Chris Jericho.
No, I get it. That's what I'm saying. So
Chris
it doesn't
Jericho.
matter.
You're gonna hear Judas just start playing. And, hey, he worked with Nick Gage. I mean, Rob have to open up that checkbook, I think. But
Jesus Christ,
no, he had a death match.
Yeah.
Anyways,
there's better ways to spend your money.
Yeah.
I don't know. All I know is that they have yet to not deliver. They have yet to not deliver yet. So I'm sure they will again.
Absolutely.
There you go.
This Saturday again. Come up. Give you free shit. XPW trivia. I'll make them easy.
Yes.
I don't know.
Flesh Wound features table. Once again, if you're joining us late.
And if you insult Ozzy's hair, maybe I'll give you something extra.
Insult. Just start talking to Ozzy about Marika Hayes. Actually, if you see her within, just say like, this guy loves you.
And
who's playing with my friend's hair?
Oh Jesus. Okay, yeah. Don't yeah.
I need to make friends so she can go up and just start randomly rubbing her hands through his hair. And that's what you got to record, Todd. So.
That's Caesar's job. He likes to record the stuff that.
In fact, if you are at the show live, we encourage you to find Mr. Ozzy.
Well, you know what? Maybe we can make it happen on camera live.
Absolutely.
That's the best time. Just
if you really want to scare him, see if Schlack will do it.
You're
not going to say anything.
Dan's going to be scared the whole time because if any of these people show up at the stream, he's like going to be checking their wardrobes. Like, we got to cut this now.
Maybe live for Patreon. I don't know. But yeah, keep an eye on the channel for.
Yeah, I don't have an exact time yet. I'm going to say a couple hours beforehand.
Okay. Sweet.
I will set up a link though if you guys want to like and wait for it to go live too. We'll get that set up.
Okay, sweet. So I guess we'll talk book versus movie and then Last of Us real quick to close. So back to the horror. All right, so Knock at the Cabin. I'm talking spoilers now.
Well, I was going to do the spoiler warning real quick. So give them the spiel before we go, Dan.
All right, guys, we're going to do full-on spoilers for Last of Us, and I'll do some book, movie, basic ending comparisons for Knock at the Cabin. So if you don't want it spoiled, well, mute for a little while.
Or they can just look at the bottom for the banner to go away. We should have told them that next time.
That works too. Next time.
Well, now they already muted because you told them to mute.
Well. Anyways, the OGs know the routine. So book versus movie. So in the book, after the gun comes into play in the house, the deaths are different. So, well, first off, Sabrina, her character is much more important in the book. In fact, she lasts till towards the very end. The order that in which the four horsemen, if you want to call them, die is a little bit different. In the book, the biggest thing is when the gun comes into the house, Leonard accidentally shoots and kills Wen, which is a big holy shit moment because he kills the girl. So definitely Hollywooded that up quite a bit because that was a pretty intense thing in the book that I would have preferred be in there. Now, there's a lot of little things, like Leonard was a younger man, I remember in the book, that I kind of distinctly remember.
Wait, so when you read the book, you weren't picturing a giant, like 6'8" muscle bound dude like his Leonard?
I was okay with that, but I could be wrong on this. I don't know in the book if they I can't recall if Redmond was in the bar and the guy that attacked him or not. Anybody that's read it more recently can correct that. There's a little bit more, they go a little bit deeper into some of the religious commentary in the book, with Eric being the religious one and Andrew being agnostic. They delve into it a little bit more. The ending, the ending in the book, it's just the two guys walking off into the sunset. They don't reveal anything. You don't know whether all of this was really happening or not. It's a very, some would say, too ambiguous of an ending, particularly for a book, because you remember, you're investing a lot more time in a book than you are a 90-minute movie. So, yeah, that's the big difference.
So M. Night's first non-twist is taking away a twist from a book?
Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, well, like I said, in the book, it's just a total,
right?
It's left up to your interpretation. I would have liked the part with Wen just to give the movie a little bit more of an edge. I would have liked it for them to have kept that. And
what part does that happen? Because to me, I'm thinking, like, as someone,
it's an accident. They're wrestling.
No, I get that, but I mean,
Wen.
But okay, they're different mediums, though, and to me, taking away that point from the story, like, then what's the point at that point? Like, I mean, if one of those are supposed to kill themselves, the other one's left ambiguous, you know, like, you're not sure. So, I mean, like that, like, for me, watching a movie, you kill her off. Well, I'll just say halfway through, like them wanting to kill each other.
Well, I mean, you still have to make certain decisions. Are you?
Yeah, but that point as a parent, just watch your child care. They're not going to give a fuck who offs each other. Like, I don't care. Same time.
I mean, if you're taking it as a real situation, and at that point you're really questioning, like, everybody's dead. There is no more anything. Or are we just going to walk like a fire?
No, I get that. But I'm saying as soon as they lost their child, a parent's like will to live.
I wish it was a little more recent that I could. I do remember Sabrina she kills herself, if I recall, and that's towards the end of the book.
Did she just got finished watching her performance in Old?
Maybe. Old is a piece of shit.
There
is not a single good thing I can say about Old. But yes, she. Yeah, again, my details, but I just remember the Wen thing, and I thought, man, that was such a powerful moment in the book, which I'm not a diehard fan of the book, but I don't know. So it's kind of, yeah.
Ben said after he got the gun from the car.
Yeah. I could be a little bit off on like who dies when. Another thing, I don't think Adrian had a son, if I recall.
Wen died?
I think they added that as well. But I'm a little bit out of order, but yeah, Wen gets killed when they're wrestling for the gun, and it's a big thing in the book. Like that, this one's, a very definitive Hollywood ending.
Which is very weird for the director.
Yeah.
I mean, even saying there's not really a twist is
Yeah.
Like,
no, it's all
is a spoiler. It's weird.
yeah, and there's a lot of ways that it could have gone horribly wrong with with Shyamalan. Ben Grimm brings up Jake Hager. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
storyline wise, that would work.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think AEW would let
Ooh,
him.
Brian Kendrick's more of a conspiracy nut, but that would be a good pick. I don't think he's really like a MAGA guy. He just believes in like every conspiracy, including some of the crazy shit. But can you imagine if it's Teddy Hart? Like, oh god damn. I'm gonna say it's probably not.
You want to hear the biggest squeal out of Pugs? Can you imagine all the shit we would get to chance?
Yeah, let's just cut that feed now. So yeah, that's the basic differences there. I don't know. The movie was just meh to me. Very well acted, but it just, I don't know. But the book, I'm not a diehard book fan either. So Last of Us.
No, well then wait, then here's my question.
Mm-hmm.
If you were told someone to watch either or, not if you know they're a reader or movie watcher better, like which do you think, not just because it's first either, which do you think is like the more palatable to the average person?
Well, if you're just, I mean, the book makes you feel a little bit more. I do like the gut punch of the dog, but then again, the ending's just kind of like, okay, for a book, you know.
I see. I think that would have to be the ending if you still kept that into a feature.
Well, I would have gone totally different if you're saying what I would. No. I'm saying it would have been.
I think if you killed the little girl, you would have had to do it at the end of the movie. You couldn't do it anywhere.
I would have left one alive, and then they're expecting like some, I don't know, fiery, or no, I don't know. I like the reveal that it was all bullshit, honestly, and that like nothing was happening.
That would have been awesome.
I think that would have been more of the gut punch, particularly after Wen died. So I wouldn't have done what was in the book or the movie. So you would have had a totally different.
So either one, you like you said, you're not in love with either of them. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
I would have just had Dave Bautista fucking killing everybody with that axe and the axe and pitchfork combo. Because that fucking weapon was amazing, and I didn't get to see that shit hack somebody's head off or anything. I was pissed.
I wanted to see a Batista bomb win, but
I was about to complain when that like small ass window. I'm like, that big son of a bitch didn't get through that.
Right? Through that,
yeah. Now I was like, oh, okay, good. They're not. He didn't. All right.
Only if he was a crackhead, he'd fit.
There you go. All right. So episode 4, please hold to my hand, and episode 5, endure and survive. So where are you guys at right now in terms of with the show in general? Are you liking it still?
Yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think they're nailing everything when it comes to being a video game nerd, especially in the last episode, them bringing the bloater into the show. Amazing practical effect. That was a man in a suit that I guess the suit cost $500,000 fucking and weighed like 150 pounds or some crazy shit like that. But I thought it looked fantastic. I love that episode too. It really shows Ellie's, how would I put this? How she's still a kid. She doesn't really understand everything, especially when she finds out the boy that's deaf is bit, and she's trying to heal him with her own blood, and then in the end it doesn't work out for her. I thought that was a good little character development moment that's going to probably shape her as we go on with the story. And the connection between Joel and I forget what the other character's name was, the one that was watching over, I think that was his brother, right?
Yeah.
The connection between him and Joel, I thought was really good. We're kind of watching Joel's character development too. He's almost becoming a better person as Ellie is with him, and also the whole thing where Ellie had to kill that person for Joel when they got into the scuffle after the amazing car sequence that is straight out of the video game. They hit everything perfectly, man. Like there's shots of this show that just look like they're straight reenacted from the video game. It's amazing. The scene where they're throwing the bricks into the windshield and then they crash in the gas station, like straight out of the video game. It's so fucking good. So yeah, I'm a huge fan. I love this fucking show. I can't wait to see everything unfold and watch everybody's heart breaks. Because like it feels like every episode, you know, we're introduced to a character, we get comfortable with them, and then boom, they're wiped off.
Yeah, it was pretty powerful to see them just introduce Sam and Henry and Sam were the character names, and just dead. Same thing. We get Melanie Linsky of all people, kind of
from Yellow Jackets.
Yeah, it's like, oh, okay, so this is like the new big bad. Oh,
nope,
dead. Like, but, 2 episodes, fucking dead.
Yep.
But she got bit, so maybe she comes back as a clicker. Who knows?
Yeah, that is true. And again, I know nothing about the game, so
I honestly, I just pulled that out of my asshole, but
it's possible. I love her, so I was like a little bummed.
Great.
I was like, oh, you could have gotten a little more out of her, but I also get it. Like the danger with this type of story is you can get really formulaic and obvious pretty fast. You know, like, you know, Walking Dead. I love Walking Dead, but it's like, oh, okay, the new big bad for the next few seasons.
Yeah,
like it's a problem. So yeah, it is really unpredictable so far, and honestly the clickers like it's not a major part of it yet. Like, I mean, they pop up, obviously we get the big you know, siege there at the end when the car sinks into the ground, and then
the bloater comes up too. Like, you know,
getting
I like how we're they're taking a little bit to introduce us into the new characters, but I'll tell you, the bloater isn't the biggest thing that you're going to see yet.
Okay, yeah, and very cool looking, a little different, you know, from just your standard zombies, which I think is cool. But I don't know, I just like the road movie aspect of it. So far. So I up into episode 5 now, I would say my enjoyment kind of keeps going up so far. So it is worth watching, even if you're zombied out, because there is a lot more to it. And
I mean, I don't consider them. I mean, they're fungus zombies, kind of like, you know, it's a different type of zombie and a different aesthetic to it. You know, it's more Mantango and Gaia than it is like, you know, fucking Dawn of the Dead.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious how the brother maybe has changed too, or if they find him. You know, maybe.
I'm very interested to see how that's going to play out, knowing what I do know in the video game. And
have they made a major departure yet? Really, from the games? I mean, something
not really. Like there's like honestly, the biggest thing was the one episode with the gay couple. What was it, Bill and
I forget the names, but yeah.
That was like probably the biggest departure from the game, I would say. But everything up until this point has been pretty spot on and just a very faithful adaptation. But they're also adding little things that, in my opinion, just make the story a little bit better.
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah. So far, it's a winner. It's worth binging. And what do we got? 9 episodes? So
9 episodes, and season 2 is already on its way. So I can't wait.
Sweet. I always worry now, especially being an HBO thing.
Thank God Velma got canceled. They are.
Oh, it did. I heard season 2 was...
No, so they signed it on, and then it got fucking canceled. Thank God.
Unfortunately, another real Scooby-Doo movie got canceled too.
Oh, damn.
That was shot?
No. Well, no, it was another one not shot. It was like the Scoob animation. Apparently, they were doing them back to back. And the funny thing with this one versus the first one was the haunted one, the Christmas one, which was totally done, and it was like promotional, whatever. The cost on this one was either would have cost them the same amount to finish and put it out that it did to scrap it, but they scrapped it.
What the fuck?
So
you can only keep doing that though so much. Like at a certain point, people are just going to be like,
kids are always going to eat that shit up though.
Yeah.
It's all right. I'd rather have traditionally animated Scooby-Doo movies, which we still get. So I'll take that the annual one they put out in every October, and I'm good. I want the Matthew Lillard.
You can take
ones.
Spoilers down now.
Oh yeah, we're talking about Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, I don't think you can spoil.
Now, if something you want to call, Slasher Mold, then we can talk Scooby-Doo, not Juice.
So, on that note, guys, thanks for hanging out with us so long.
Yeah, we got to hit another 20, 30 seconds, so we hit 2.5.
Oh, we'll hit 30 seconds. So, patreon.com/fleshwound features. It all starts at just $1. We really appreciate you very much. Great success on the After Dark shows, which, guys, thank you so much. Like
we got arguably the biggest franchise next.
Yeah, I'd say a very strong argument for it coming up next. Well, not next. Like we do have one to air before that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm getting ahead. Yes,
for recording for us next. Yes, but,
a couple shows, but all the next ones,
might be the last because so far Body Chemistry is our most popular. It's also the oldest. I mean, they could catch up, but I think that's at 6,300 now or something. But yeah, the one that we have coming up could possibly unseat it. I'm kind of curious to see.
We're trying to find the erotic thriller for Kruger still. We haven't found it yet. We came close on one, maybe.
Crash is probably the closest thing you're going to get.
You could, not traditional, but yeah, you could.
We'd have to, I'd have to rewatch the qualifying.
Did you know that in Body of Evidence, Willem Dafoe eats Madonna's ass?
I mean, there's one you'll like.
I like William Dafoe, but I don't know if I want to see him.
Okay.
I've already seen enough of him in Necromantic and fucking Antichrist, even though that was a stunt cock.
We should mention this is 90s Dick Tracy era Madonna, not 2023. Whatever Madonna.
Yeah, whatever the fuck that is. Oh, Jesus Christ. It's so late.
It's late. So, yes,
get us
guys.
out of here, Dan. Quit bullshitting.
Other than that, we'll see you this weekend. More shows on the way.
Watch this weekend. Live.
Yeah, watch the channel this weekend because there's no set time, but
as soon as I know, it'll be posted.
Yeah, this could be a busy weekend. I mean, I'm pretty much at home, but there's a lot going on this weekend. Yeah. So, yeah, lots of wrestling, After Dark, horror. We've got you covered on everything. So thanks for staying up with us. Good night.
Good evening.
Whatever you do, don't fall asleep.